All right, so good morning. We are here. We are doing yesterday's or Friday's match breakdown for the morning crowd podcast. These are the fun morning crowds because now we have a lot to talk about. This is a 3-match day. Matches that we had yesterday was what? We had Ravens versus Paris, Seattle versus Texas, and Boston versus Minnesota. I would like to say probably the first two were really fun to watch. The last one was kind of heartbreaking to watch for Minnesota because the pick'ems, I picked London, I picked Texas, and then I picked Minnesota. I had a feeling they were going to come out with some fire, and they kind of just got fucking bodied and put down. So we'll get there when we get there. A team's starting to scare me as just like a fan of of those players and Rokkr and stuff. But we'll kind of just see what's going on with everything. What do you think about the rumors that Havoc declined an offer to CDL? Switching back. We're not getting into the match yet. We'll talk about that right away. So, before we go into this, this is all rumored, but the whole NYSL thing yesterday, so I'm pretty sure the NYSL team got announced by the CDL broadcast with the graphic or whatever. So, apparently from what I got out of this yesterday was live on stream. I'm not too sure. Maybe I can find it. That they put the graphic of Paul X, Neptune, Crim6, and Hydra, and on their stream. And basically, here it is. Okay, I got the clip. 1 second. So on the broadcast yesterday, it literally says Paul X is subbing in for Clayster on stream.
Did not think I would be saying that. I mean, they're down to the bench. I did not think I would be saying that. I mean, about this New York team coming into the season, I thought they had a good roster, but things didn't work out for them. Obviously, they've been the worst team that we've had in the CDL, and it was between Crim. They're down to the.
So, with that being, that clip being a thing on the CDL broadcast, the CDL kind of takes initiative there and announces it for all of us, all the wondering that we've had of what they're going to be doing. I know certain people had takes on that was kind of fucked up that the CDL did that before New York did it and all that stuff. And I see where people are coming from. People and everything were, that was kind of all the rumors and all the stuff were kind of already confirmed. I know Clay never officially said it himself when he was saying that he's never playing Vanguard again. He said it on the other stream that he's going to have plenty of time. There was a bunch of stuff that he was hinting towards he was getting benched and other stuff. So we kind of knew that was happening, and it was kind of announced without an official announcement. I don't know if that was mistimed and whatnot, but I don't know. But regardless, that was just kind of odd. And then here we are to talking about what you guys were asking me. So if that's the case and Clayster is getting benched for now, I don't think he's done like we talked yesterday. I don't think he's going to retire. I would love to see Clay end up finding another team and doing what we talked about yesterday's podcast. Just I think if he gets a new environment and he has some fire and he gets new teammates with some different motivation and just a different environment in general, I think he'll actually play pretty well. And I think that will be his run to kind of just redeem himself in that sense again, because he wasn't playing that good with this NYSL roster. And you always take some blame for that as a player. But at the same time, in my opinion, I think that environment of that NYSL team was chalked before it even started. And then they kind of just started off slow. And then I'm sure after that, it just got miserable pretty quickly. So I'm sure that was tough to kind of improve just because of how bad they were doing. But at the same time, we'll kind of see. And then, yeah, I definitely don't think they should have announced that before them, by the way. But it was kind of announced already, but I still think they should have waited until New York did it. I don't know. But regardless, to answer the question of what you guys were saying about Havoc and all these rumors. So if this is a rumor, I don't know if this is true, unless you guys have a clip of Havoc saying that this is true. But apparently Havoc was offered to join this NYSL team at for Clay, and he would be alongside Hydra, I'm assuming, or as a sub or whatever it was. Why? Zuma said it was on the flank, but Zuma does not Havoc. I trust Tommy, but He saw screenshots and combos. All right. So if he saw screenshots and combos and stuff and all that stuff, and Havoc actually said no, why? Like that has to be the single dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like, I'm not like, it just doesn't make sense. Bro, like, you have an organization who has a lot of money. They have Crim6 and Clayster on their team. They have a fuck ton of money. Period. Like, they have Hydra too, who's probably getting paid a lot of money too. Like, they have a shit ton of money. You have a chance to redeem yourself and join the league. And yes, you're joining a broken NYSL team. So you have a lot, like, you have a lot of like work to do when you join that roster, and it might not work out. But all you have to do is just do decent, and you're probably in the league for a long time, and your paycheck gets a lot higher. Like, I don't know. It's just, I feel like if you're trying to get into the league, you take the offers that you can get into the league, right? Like, I don't think you kind of sit there and wait. Apparently, he said he could only join if Kismet joined and Clay was the main AR. Damn. So he sit there saying, like, if you want me, you got to do this, this, and that. And then, like, he just didn't get his way, and then they just kept going. Sheesh. I mean, I don't know. Like, money isn't happiness, and you want to be happy, and we've talked about that, how, like, players, like, some players just want to play and, like, actually enjoy what they're doing, and really just kind of go from there. But I just feel like when you're trying to get into this league with how hard it is to actually get into the league, I just feel like you gotta just kind of every once in a while take something to the chin and just get into the league and then muscle it out. Like, because you don't know if this league offer will ever happen again. Like, I don't know. He's disrespecting the winningest player of all time. No, you guys are tripping. If he doesn't want a team with fucking Crim, that's not disrespecting him. It's like, think about it. Crim is probably Crim out of all people in this league with the personality that he has. He has a very strong personality in the sense of when you're playing, and he's going to be really super critical. He's going to fucking roast your shit. He's going to be on your ass about everything. Like, some people just don't want to deal with that. Like, I don't think he's really disrespecting Crim when he does that. Like, it's just, some people don't do well with that. Like, I don't really think that's like disrespectful towards Crim. That's just him saying, like, I know for a fact I'm not going to be fucking happy playing with him, and like, that's just, it is what it is. Like, I don't know. Kind of Clay, no, Clay does not do that. You are so wrong. Like, Clay can be on your ass about things, not in the way Crim is. They're two totally different people. Like, Clay is I've teamed with Clay, and like, he is not nearly like that, in my opinion. Like, I think Crim, I have never teamed with Crim, but I think Crim is a lot harder on people than Clay is. But in the sense where, like, Crim's got, 37 championships, and you guys know my opinion about Crim. I think he's the best player of all time in the sense of, like, his accolades. Like, I think Crim is the Call of Duty GOAT. So clearly what he does works for him. But yes, some people just don't want to do that. So, like, him not wanting the team with Crim is not disrespecting Crim. I just think he's doing that for himself. But regardless, I just don't think you say no, though, at the same time. Like, I still don't think you say no, because you just don't know if this offer will ever happen again. Unless this league expands to 16 teams, I don't know. Unless this league expands to 16 teams, it's just tough. Like, and I respect it in the sense if, like, you're only going if Kismet's going, but, like, what if Kismet gets that offer and he takes, I don't know, dude. In my opinion, if you're trying to get into the league, you got to get into the league. You have talent to work with. Bro, you join that team, you play good. You're with Hydra. Hydra is a great sub to be next to. Think about it. In this league, if you were next to Hydra, and Havoc's really good. I've always actually thought Havoc's pretty good. And I actually think he should be in this league. So I'm excited to hopefully see him eventually make it into the league again. But you're alongside Hydra. Like, Hydra and Havoc are a good fucking duo, in my opinion. And then you work from there. I just don't see why you're leaving yourself in the pit. Like, when you get a raise, you do all this stuff, but who knows? I don't know. I think that's a stupid fucking decision. But at the same time, everyone has their own decisions, and I'm sure, like, he would rather be happy doing with what he's doing right now and eventually play with Kismet, hopefully, and go from there. It's, like, tippable. Like, I guess it's tippable that he's staying loyal in that sense, but I personally do think that is a dumb decision. I think if you're trying to get into this league, and especially when your sub duo is going to be Hydra, I think you got to take it. That's just what I think. I don't there's loyalty and then there's stupidity, and I personally think he made a stupid choice. But we'll see. We could all stand corrected here because I know all you guys are kind of like agreeing with what we're saying here. We could all stand corrected here, and later on, this either expands or he finds another team, and boom, he's happy as shit. Like, things could work out for him, and I truly hope they do. I truly hope that Havoc gets another offer and he gets into this league the way he wants to, because with everything we just said, I truly do think that Havoc should be in this league, and Havoc was good in Black Ops 4, and then, I don't know. Like, I know he had, his ups and downs and shit, but, I think Havoc is a good sub. I respect the loyalty. I think it's a stupid decision, but I do truly think he deserves to be in this league, and I do think that I do hope to see him in this league eventually. So, didn't work out for Decimate last year. Decimate joined the worst team in the league last year and then quit on his team, from what I remember. From what I remember last year, Decimate joined. The team sucked, and he was like, fuck this shit, I'm out of here. There's a completely different story. He joined the worst team in the league. You're still joining the worst team in the league, but Hydra has a lot more promise right now in the sense of just, how Hydra's been playing the last 2 years. And then on top of that, too, it's Decimate also kind of chose to quit on that roster, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure Decimate was like, fuck this, I don't want to deal with this shit anymore. So, I don't know. I think Decimate could have played his cards better when he got into the league, and he decided to fucking say, fuck this, I'm not dealing with this shit, and then left that team again. I don't know. I definitely think, basically the last thing I'll say on this before we get into the match breakdown is, I definitely think if you come into this league and you get a chance to be on this roster and you drop your ego, you drop your fucking pride and ego and all this bullshit, and you just put your head down and you say, yo, I'm about to be the best fucking teammate. I'm about to be the best fucking, I'm going to work with the fucking coaches and do VOD review. I'm going to do anything on this fucking planet to make my team and myself fucking better and blah, 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 blah. That is the attitude that you approach it. You get to work. You're not going to get dropped, most likely. You're probably going to be just good at the game. And then you're just going to be in the league. And then your reputation from coach to coach, to player to player, to manager, it's good. If you join the league and then your champs odds are kind of shit. And again, I don't know the full story with the Seattle team, but that's main and shit. That's just what I remember hearing. So take this with a grain of salt. But if you join the league and your champs odds are kind of chalked and you just say, I'm fucking done with this shit. Fuck this. I don't know. That's kind of stupid in my opinion. And I think that also just is not the way to stay in the league long term. I don't know. There's just gonna be situations in your life in general, not even just COD, where shit just fucking sucks, and sometimes you just gotta fucking muscle through it. And then, that's where a lot of a lot of pro players now, even some players on good teams and shit now, have gone through shitty teams with shitty rosters, and they've had to just fucking deal with it and try their best to become the fucking best team they can, and then all of a sudden they get a better team and things are just better. I just feel having a really good attitude, even when times are tough, shows a lot about, who you are as a competitor. Does that make sense? A lot easier said than done too. It's very easy to lose faith in your team and say fuck this and not do it, and it's really fucking frustrating. I've even had my own fair share as a player when I made those mistakes, and I really wish I didn't. I wish looking back on my older self, my younger self, instead of just being an asshole, this was way earlier in my career, instead of just being an asshole, I wish I just fucking sat down and just tried to make the people that I didn't get along with or weren't doing well on the team or any of that, just to help them get better and just help the team get better. So that attitude through tough times is what really shows you and shows who you are as a competitor. I don't know, but I think it's a dumb decision. Who knows? I'm not gonna lie, it really sucks that Pristini is your sub. I really want to see him play. If Pristini gets an offer to any pro team, he's taking it, and we're letting him go. So if that has nothing, he's not just stuck on our bench forever. If Pristini finds if Pristini were to get an offer to NYSL, he's going to NYSL. That's just, we're not gonna hold him on our bench. Hey, what's up, Jay? How you doing? But all right, let's get into this London match, baby. All right, keys to victory. Ooh, we only got 2 keys to victory. Alrighty. Paris Legion. Jimbo needs to value his life in SND. A 0.4 SND KD this season. Yeah. That makes sense. But to be fair, as much as you say he needs to value his life in S&D, which is totally true, and I'm not defending Jimbo, like, also, like, low-key, like, shouldn't your team be trading Jimbo's deaths more? Like, you know, like, finding a plan to make Jimbo's, like, lack of value of his life, like, more impactful to get his trade. Again, he should be playing better. I'm not defending this. But, like, you know, if he's running out there and dying every round, either A, he's doing stuff that is just not a part of the game plan, which is possible, or B, maybe the team's plan is just like not fully there, where they're not like following him up and getting his trades. So who knows? We'll see. But yeah, that's definitely true though. Jimbo needs to step it up. We kind of talked about this yesterday. I think that series for Jimbo was just an off series. I'm pretty sure Jimbo played pretty well today or yesterday in this match, right? And then likely need to go with the 2-3-5 route. London first and hardpoint average point differential. Paris last. Well, this key to victory got fucking thrown out the goddamn window yesterday. And then skipping forward, I thought the keys to victory would be there. Wait, is there only one key to victory? Oh, here we go. Then the London keys to victory. Expand your S&D map pool. 3 and 6 on non-desert sieges. Okay, so yeah, their S&D outside of desert siege is not that good right now. Untradables. First in non-traded kills. Okay. Keep finding balance and hard points. Second in hold percentage, third in break percentage. And those are fair. Those are fair. All right. So here we are. We got a little bit of Doc's hard points. So now, I'll be honest with you. When I saw Berlin Hardpoint, my God, my bad, fucking twisted. When I saw Berlin Hardpoint, I honestly thought that there was no chance in hell Paris was winning this map. Although I think this new Paris roster likes this map, and they're pretty good at it, like, you know, for their team. I'm pretty sure like London is also very, very good at this map in general, like record wise, and I just think they're good at this map, like just overall. So I thought this was lock and key. I was like, oof, they're playing London on Berlin. This is a 1-0 start for London. Pine Park this morning? No. No Pine Park this morning. So this was a crazy map though, because right, if I remember correctly, Paris makes a crazy comeback. No. Wait, I hate watching Berlin as a viewer, just visually unappealing. Really, this is my favorite map in the game. This is like by far my favorite map. Like for Hardpoint. London's only scrimmed once since Jimbo's returned. You mean since Gizmo returned? Yeah, see, you're faded too, my guy. We're all faded. But, yeah. So, I mean, that's what I was going to kind of say. This London match was definitely scrappy, but they have not been able to play with Gizmo, and obviously Gizmo not being there and stuff. They were kind of just like getting back into the swing of things. So I wouldn't like analyze this match too much in the sense if you're a London fan, just because they had just had a lot of time off. This match was actually probably really good for them to get back into things with Gizmo and everything, and you know, they still ended up winning it. But here we go. So Paris has this like lobby. Paris has this lobby play like perfect, like literally set up perfectly. This was so unfortunate. Like, dude, look at this play. Like Jimbo gets into this spot and like he kind of low key fumbles this, dude. The spawns are weird because since him staying here, like watch. So since watch. Wait, when does this guy spawn? Okay, yeah. He like low key fumbles this dude because he doesn't go to the back. And like, since this hill is up, they're going to be spawning in the back because he's not blocking this spawn. Like if you're over here and like you're like pushing the street and stuff, you can block it by like looking at it and stuff. Like this spawn is not crazy in Vanguard. Like if like you know like Jimbo's not looking at anything. Like the way you block spawns in this game, a lot of the times there's like this again. I'm not defending the spawn system in this game. It's definitely not the best. I always say this, but like Jimbo's not looking at anything. He's not blocking anything. Like he's just sitting here. And like in Treyarch games and other games, like you know when you get to a certain point in the map, you're blocking spawns. He's not doing anything here. He's just sitting here. And I know what he's thinking. He's thinking like, you know, what he's going to do is a good play. And like, I completely understand like in the moment why he's doing this. Like he's trying to make a play. It just like, he like low key fumbles this because he like waits. And then by the time he waits like here, he gets caught in the back. If he, this is so hindsight, but if he gets through like this and just kills this guy out of the hill, like that opens up like timing for like number 7 to like potentially come to help him and shit. You know what I mean? So it just sucks. Like he was trying to make a big brain play, but like he could have like pushed back here potentially and like blocked this spawn, which would have been big. Or he like, you know, wraps in and kills this guy in the hill, which would have been big. But him just staying here and not blocking the spawn and then like getting caught kind of sucks. You see like this guy's watching it and then this guy's watching it. Like that was just tough. That was also good, really good awareness from London, by the way, to like not let that happen. He was trying to make a big brain play and it ends up fumbling it because all he had to do right there in hindsight was just run and kill that guy in the hill and he would have been good. If he ran and killed that guy in the hill, he would have been fucking golden. That sucks. To be fair, they still break it, so it doesn't really matter. That was just an interesting play to watch like play out. Oh. Okay. And then like here, if you're Paris, dude, you're in such a good spot, bro. Like you have the train rotation and you have some scrap time. You lose 8 seconds, whatever, you skip forward. So does London break this? They do. Like backing up, like this rotation looks so odd to me. Like backing up here, just like look, the scrap time. Like Paris knows that like, you know, London's spawning over here now, and like they're probably gonna obviously rotate just to the right. That's just like what everyone does or whatever. Like, you know, like just like the typical stuff. It's like so odd that like Paris like doesn't play for the rotation. Like look, like Paris, like number 2 beats Paris to the new hill. Like just like if you draw a vertical line, number 2 beats Paris to the new hill. And like if you just draw a line on the map, and like look where number 3 spawns. Like, how does number 2, right, beat Paris here? Like, I know number 8 goes to play the pocket and they send so many people to rotate, but it just looks like so crazy that like number 8's their only line of defense. No? Like, it looks so crazy that number 8's their only line of defense, and like number 2 is like the farthest person pushed up on the map. Like number 2 is just over here, and now he's over here, and Paris is still all over here. Like, I don't know. It looked like they fucking fumbled this rotation because they end up getting like initial 10 seconds, but then they just get broken and they don't get time. Like they could have packed on a mega lead right there. You see what I mean? Like all these points London are getting right now is just like from that rotation kind of getting fumbled. They're fumbling rotations, dude. Okay. So keep this fucking moving. Skip forward. So this is all like even stuff. This is still a close ass game though. They're going back and forth. There's some like key rotations and everything. And then let's see. All right, so it looks like both of these train hills are the reason. So like again, right. So like right here, again, this train hill. So we'll watch the rotation to it. This seems like what sets London and Paris apart. I know Paris like, you know, wins this, but like this hill specifically, like Paris is doing a really good job of like fighting and keeping themselves in it. I want to see like, yeah, so like even this rotation looks so like crazy. So like, you see what I was kind of talking about? You can just see like how London's playing it. Like London is just cutting off the street and then like having a little bit of more backup. He ends up winning that fight, which is huge by Jimbo. And then Jimbo just fucking turns on the jets and goes, dude. And now number 4 is just making sure like he can try and hold some B-Dom. Jimbo getting through the back. I'm pretty sure they should be aware of this, right? Yeah, like London's got their arrows facing that way. So like they know Jimbo's in the back. They don't really care as much as long as like they're watching it and then they kill him. So that was good plays out of London. Okay. That was just tough. That was a tough rotation out of like for Paris. They didn't really do anything wrong. Like they did the best that they can. And holy shit. Bro, Donnie came fucking soaring through that. I know Donnie was frying yesterday. Temp was actually fucking cooking them if I recall in the statistics. But and then yeah, so London starts to take a little bit of the lead here. London takes a little bit of a lead. It's P5. London takes more of a lead. Remember, you know, I always talk about this P5 on Berlin is like not as much of a contest hill as you think sometimes if you play it right. London's really good at this hill, I think, too. They get a bunch of time, and now this is where the comeback starts. So this is where the comeback starts. Ready? This hill. And now this hill is tough because, you know, they're getting all this time. This key engagement is huge. Because even though you're getting all this time and like you're looking pretty like in the points, you guys know how easy it is to hold this P1, especially if you're spawning fire and you have them spawning out all the way glass. Like you can do some fucking damage. So like look. This kill out of John is huge. Just like to slow this down, and then the Jimbo's able to end up pinching and getting this 2-piece, getting the scrap time. Like this is such an underrated play. Like Jimbo taking this route, getting this kill off the old, John stalling time, and then Jimbo able to pinch this guy and kill to get this kill. Like to secure this rotation that looked like really bad, like John getting that kill and playing his life and letting Jimbo come through the scrap and shit was like literally the reason they win. This is the reason why they make this comeback. Like John played that so well, like just getting one kill and then like kind of slow playing it and making sure he doesn't die. And here, if you're London, you think like you think you're golden. And even here, bro, this is so crazy. You think like London has the spawns, like low fucking key. If number 7 kills number 3, I'm pretty sure like here. This is weird. This is Vanguard shit. But like, look, number 7 dies, right? Then now number 3 is pinching. In my opinion, number 3 needs to pinch. Because like he needs to help like secure the hill. But like if number 3 were to pinch and die to this guy number 6, number 3 would spawn in the back with his team. But like look, since number 3 doesn't die and like they get kills, like it's so fucking odd that he spawns. Like it's so odd that like London just had the spawns and then they lose them. And like, I'm almost positive if number 3 is not on the side of the map and he's just dead before all of that, he would have spawned and they would have been chilling. So fucking odd. And then, yeah, so like London gets those spawns and they think they're golden and then they lose it. That sucks. That was a Vanguard mixer for sure. And now, like, yeah, now, like, again, what we were just talking about, Paris being in, like, this position is just so good for them. And even here, though, you think London wins it. Paris just has to go fucking huge here. There's nothing else to it. Paris just has to go fucking huge. Bro. Paris just has to go absolutely crazy right now. Bro. Dude. At this, literally, John and Temp just went fucking nuts. And even here, it's a 3v2. Someone get a kill. Oh, no. Yeah, bro. So, like, that was a well-fought game. There were some rotations, you know, that were fucked up. Like, even, like, right there at London, I think London could have won the game on that P1 if they didn't fuck up that break, you know, like, with, like, when they had the 3-in-1 setup, like, on the sides of P1. But, like, bro, that was just nuts. That was just a good game. That was a really well-played game for Paris. Like, they messed up a few rotations, but they fought really hard, and they played that good. And then London just gets broken at the end. Like, dude, they just went huge. Like, highlighting Temp again. Temp has been playing great on this team. Another fucking bomb out of him. He's a fucking beast. John has a good game. He plays really well. Gravity doesn't play that well, but, like, he's just, you know, being AR, just trying to do what he can. So he doesn't have that great of a series. I don't think he has that great of a series in general. But he still, like, doesn't play the best. And then Jimbo picks it up. This is what we were kind of talking about. So, like, this Paris team, Jimbo is kind of getting fucking thrown through the dirt after that match. You know, we were all saying yesterday, you got to give Jimbo a couple more series before you make an opinion on him, right? And Jimbo plays pretty well here. So we'll see. We'll see, like, what's it called? We will see how he plays out. But I think he's way better than what we saw first. And he plays pretty well here. I don't know his final stats. So we can kind of go back and forth and see. But here are the vetoes. So Paris gets rid of Gavutu against a team like this. It's either you're playing Berlin or Gavutu. I completely understand that. London gets rid of Cage. I think they get rid of Cage a lot, so that's fine. They get rid of Desert Siege. That's smart vetoing. They get rid of Berlin. That makes sense because I'm pretty sure London's Berlin record right now is not very good. And then Tuscan, they get Gavutu control. Why is all the teams using excuses like Texas that they are trying stuff? What? What do you mean? No team. Who is all the teams saying they're trying stuff? I feel like the only team that's, in my opinion, tried new maps has been Texas, and that wasn't an excuse because they won, right? Like, huh? London said it. Oh, London said it too. What did London say they were trying? Like different SNDs? What did they try? What did London say they were trying out here? I would have to go through their map records and see what you're talking about. But how is this an excuse too? London won. London tried Tuscan SND for the first time. Have they never played Tuscan? I thought they played it a couple times. I'd have to, like, again, it's just slipping my mind right now because it's early. Like, oh yeah, they're 0-1 on Tuscan. Didn't we play them on Tuscan, or now am I fucking faded? Or did we not? I don't fucking know. No, we didn't. We played them on Desert Siege and lost the 5-1 comeback. Yeah, okay. So yeah. Yeah, so they played Tuscan once and it was right here. They played Tuscan once and it was right here. My bad. Yeah, so what do you, how is this an excuse? What do you mean? Like, they've never played Tuscan SND? Like, I'm so confused. They've never played Tuscan SND. London Royal Ravens stats on Berlin is 2-7. They're not playing that well on Berlin. They've never played Tuscan SND, so they vetoed Berlin and they tried Tuscan SND. Like, what, how is that wait, how is that an excuse? Like, again, London is a team that's sitting, like, pretty right now in the standings. They have to open up their map pool if they want to be a championship caliber team. I don't know. I feel like I gotta say this every stream, but in order to win a championship in this league, I'll say it again. In order to win a championship in this league, last year too, and the year before that, you play a best of 9 in the finals. If you have 3 maps out of 3 game modes that you cannot fucking win, and you were bad at, and you don't take the time to practice them and like get reps on them in matches, even if you make it to the final, you are still probably fucked and you're still going to lose. So like London using an excuse and Texas using an excuse is not an excuse. It's just like thinking like, hey, we have a chance to win events this year. Let's do it. If you get the 3rd seed instead of the 1st seed going into a major, it does not fucking matter, because if you have a complete map pool and you have the 4th or 3rd seed, you know what I mean? Remember the TK auto vetoes? Yeah. And back then, that was best of 5 finals and shit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like I say this every podcast, but like you can't, like, you know how hard it is to win a championship, and like using OpTic Texas as an example against a team like OpTic Texas right now, if they have a complete map pool and you don't, like, you're not going to win. Like you got to be a complete team. And if you're not, like, this is the whole point of like regular season matches. Again, you can't always just throw them down the drain like we've talked about, but you're not winning a championship, period, if you're not doing that. And like these 4 players on your screen are not sitting here to play for 3rd place. Like, every team in this league wants to win. That's just what it is. They're not playing for 3rd place. They're not playing for 4th place. They're not playing for 2nd place. Like, every team here wants to win. So when you get opportunities to try maps out that you're not that good at, you should do it. Like, I don't know. Like, I've gotten criticized myself for saying the same shit like throughout the years of like me coaching and stuff, but I don't know. Here we go. You think Bocage will be out of the rotation if 2 new maps come in? We're not getting 2 new maps, brother. If we get 2 new hardpoints, I would shit a brick. There's no fucking way. We might get 1 more hardpoint this year. I don't think there's a chance in hell we get 2. I would be so fucking mind blown, dude. All right, sorry. Back to the fucking match. All right. So where's this nasty 1v4, by the way? Is it this round? No. No, definitely not this round. Which round is it? I want to watch it. 2-2? Okay. So London Royal Ravens, baby. They're bringing it back. They're playing Tuscan. They're obviously, you know, doing their thing. They're trying Tuscan SND. And here we go. Nice snipe at attempt. Now they're throwing like a B hit here. Not a bad play. So it's technically a 1v4. It's not a 1v3. Technically it's a 1v4. Everyone died and then he got 1. So it's a technical 1v4, but obviously he has like 3 people to, you know, work with. So, all right. So Paris shuts this down. 1v3 with the bomb down. This should never, ever, 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 ever happen. Ever. I don't care. Like, this is a very cool clutch out of Nasty. Very fucking flashy plays and like incredible plays out of Nasty. But this is also just like pure and utter, like, just, I don't know, just shitty plays out of Paris too. But here we go. So he gets this sniper, which is the reason why he's able to clutch. I don't think anyone on Paris understood that he had a sniper, and you can't really read that. So that snipe was not expected. Donnie's like, yo, I'm fucking out of here. This was the craziest part, though. So as much as I said, like, Paris plays is fucking bad, like, they could have played a tighter setup. All they had to do was just kind of stall time, and they got like a little bit over, you know, overzealous with them pushing field and shit. But whatever. Like, he snipes him. Shouldn't have Paris 2-man rush. Nice. Yeah. Like, that, well, Nasty after the snipe. It's like, yeah, like, Donnie probably could have played for the trade here. So, like, right here, like, Donnie's, like, pushing up you. As soon as he gets this snipe, Donnie should probably just go for the trade. Because that's, you know, you just put it to an end right there. And, like, the whole point of being together is to trade your kills. But Donnie's like, yo, bomb's down, I'm running. So, whatever. He decides to run. This snipe is insane. So, I want to know. Did he, like, get, like, a fucking, like, you guys have played Vanguard before. Every once in a while, like, you get, like, a red diamond. Like, and, like, you, like, see him, like, you, like, see them through the wall kind of thing. Like, has anyone heard what Nasty said about this? Because, like, Nasty snipes this guy. There's a wall there. he had to have gotten some fucking bullshit Vanguard thing that you saw the name through the wall, which happens like all the time. Because, like, you can't even really roast Tom here. You can't even roast Tom here. It looked like he kind of just threw a shot at this fucking window thinking like, hey, hopefully he's checking it there, and kind of got lucky. But, like, maybe got random assists. That's what I'm saying. But, like, you can't even really roast Tom because I think Tom just checked the bomb in the most safe way that he could possibly check the bomb. Like, look, like if Tom checked it from there, he's getting his fucking head ripped off. So Tom like actually makes a pretty good play. I just think like Paris could have had a better initial setup in the sense of just like kind of waiting for him to get on the bomb, like, you know, like spotting him through the bomb and shit. So like Paris could have played this better, but like after this, like, dude, did Tom jump and he seen him? Yeah, but like no, like look, he doesn't see him yet. Like, maybe he sees him right there and flicks to him and then gets the headshot through the wall. But, like, you can't really fault Tom because he just checked the bomb in the most safe way ever. Like, go back. You can see his thing through his gun through the wall. Oh, like right there, I guess. So maybe he gets like, yeah, the pipe of the gun. Yeah. Regardless, like, you know, Tom like plays this pretty safe here. Like, I wouldn't even critique this out of Paris, but like still incredible fucking snipe out of Nasty. Like, that was fucking disgusting. And now Donnie in this situation, Donnie is in a hard spot because a 1v1 in this situation is tough. Like, this is not as easy of a 1v1 as it could be. And then like, here we go. Good plays. He has to check the bomb and then Donnie's just dead. So, like, the only thing that could have been different is, like, their initial setup, and then Donnie could have played the trade. You know, coulda, shoulda, coulda, woulda, blah, 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 like that, the hindsight. But that snipe out of Nasty was disgusting. Like, that was just a crazy fucking play. Like, that should never be possible unless something like that happens. Like, yeah, I don't, like, dude, that was nuts. So, incredible plays out of him. But definitely, the initial setup from Paris could have been better with bomb down. Could that be aim assist right there? I don't know. I would love to talk to Nasty and actually just hear like what the fuck was going through his head and his screen. So London making some decisive plays, pushing B, seeing what they're doing. Again, like they're trying this map out. This is the first time they've played it. They push through. This goes kind of goes 3-3. And then after here, I'm pretty sure Paris just start taking over, right? They get their rounds in and then Paris just shuts this down, right? Nothing else too pretty much crazy. They're just getting first bloods. They're all over them. Like, Jimbo's in their spawn. Yeah, dude, this is just like, yeah, Paris playing this pretty well. And then, boom. What's up, Nick? How you doing? And then, boom. So, Paris goes up 2-0. So now, this is now the second time this new Paris team has gone up 2-0. The last Paris match, Jimbo got absolutely shit on, but they still went up 2-0 and lost. Now, this Paris match, Jimbo's playing really well, and they go up 2-0 and they lose, right? I said this yesterday on the podcast, bro. Control is such an important game mode, dude. Like, this is what I was talking about. Control is such an important game mode because this Paris team, I'm pretty sure this new Paris team is clearly struggling in Control in the sense of winning them when they need to. And just like, you got like, you know, this is like where you stomp a team out. Right? So it's just like, this just sucks. I'm pretty sure London wins 2 offenses here. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. But, yeah, dude. This is just pretty fucking tough. Just like in the sense of like, London's a good Gavutu control team. So being Paris here, like, you're not in a good spot immediately. Just because like London's really good at this map, especially at like capping B and getting on B and shit. They're really good at that shit. And then, you know, Tuscan Hardpoint. You know, again, winning 2 hard points versus London is not the recipe to beat this team most of the time. You know, especially if you're Paris, I feel like London's one of the better hard point teams in the world right now. If your recipe is to win 2 of those, it's going to be tough. And then Bocage SND, anything can happen. Bocage SND is scary. But yeah, so here we go. Hold up. Go find it. Let's see. So we start off control. London does a little 2-and-2 split. Yeah, this play right here. Look at it. Look. Paris think they have it locked down. Number 8, Jimbo, thinks he's got it locked down. And then look. Skip forward. He gets on this play. Immediately, this brings all of Paris back to B. So even if you stop B, they cap A and they extend the time. You know what I mean? Now London's on A, and now this makes it a hard A stop for Paris. Like, you see what I mean? Like, them bringing him back. Good plays. Now Temp's got to go big. He skip forward. London still all over A. Skipping forward here. All right. So London gets A basically because of that B play, which is not a big deal. Like, if you're Paris, we've seen this before, bro. 20 to 21 lives. If you're Paris, you're on defense. You're in the driver's seat. It's not, you know, crazy. We've seen this before. The thing is, though, is I'm pretty sure, if I remember. See. Like, now that their ring control is in, like, London's favor, they can do some damage here. But again, we've seen this happen so many times. We're like, this is such a hard cap. But this London team is very good at doing this. Good grenades in the point. And then who is it? Trey? Trey's top 3. Like, this is like their setup. They like to get ring control, and then Trey gets top 3, and they like try and do like this like fucking crossfire pinch on the people trying to help the thing. Like, look, they lose their ring control. And now like Trey gets that kill green, and it's just so hard because anyone that goes to cross here, like, can cross, but you can't go to short. Like, this number 1 has short lockdown. Like, number 1 has short lockdown, and like they're trying to kill, like, you know, they're trying to kill Trey off a top 3. And, like, this is where it just gets scary. A, your lives are already, like, unvalued. Like, your lives are already fucked. So, this defense for Paris is setting up the tone. Even if this guy goes the distance, you're most likely not getting defense last round, which is really shitty. And then Paris winning this offense is really, really, really bad for you. So, it's just tough. You could lose an offense and still win this map, but it's just everything about this is just so rough. Because not only do London win this map, just, like, in, like, you know, by capping, but they're up in all these lives. So even if they win an offense and then you steal an offense, unless you like absolutely destroy them back, which is kind of rare, you're probably not going to get the last round defense. Like, you're just kind of set up for failure already. Like, London plays that really, really well. They set up that ring control. They put them in a trap. They play really good at, like, you know, team. They play really good with the team shots, like on the cross and all that stuff. And it's just kind of chalked. The top boat is what makes that setup so strong. No, it's everything about it. Like, that top, like, everyone does that top boat shit. But, like, it's just, like, that ring control and the top boat, like, they just played it really well of, like, winning those fights. Like, that guy top boat is useless if they all lose their fights ring. You know what I mean? Not useless, but, like, he's just kind of chilling there and you lose. Really, it's just, that's just a full team effort. But that all stemmed from them losing, like, that initial break. Like, they had a good break. They could have, like, started that defense hot. They get brought back to B, and then they kind of get put, like, on the back burner for a little bit. They get some map control, and as soon as they lost ring, they just, like, lost it. But still, if that first play doesn't happen, that round probably plays out a little different. They hop the point and force them to come to that. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, once you get on that B point, it becomes a little mixy, and London's very good at doing that. Ooh, listening.
Third cut, I'm dead to him. Try. Top third. Play the fuck out of your life. Yeah, one top third. You push up for top third, nasty. One shot. Ring pushed up your stairs. Watch out. And top low.
Nice,
Nice. One more
He put
top
top right.
Pinch
Gizmo
beat.
top right.
Nice. One more top right.
Gizmo top right.
Found a top right. Hold on. Made it
One
up.
shot. He's one shot. He's behind the stairs. Behind the stairs.
He's still channeling, bro. He's right side. Good job.
Nice.
We can still do this.
There's gonna be another one top boat. Yo, he's our tank.
He's our low cliff. Our low cliff.
And low cliff.
That's
and
our
our tank.
Our
Right
tank.
tank,
Right,
tank,
right,
tank.
right.
One shot. One shot. Still there.
Mid tank, bro. Mid tank. I'm one shot. I'm trying to. He's ring nasty.
Yeah, I don't see Afro here.
He's ring nasty.
My front cliff dead.
Nice. One more low cliff. Low
One
cliff.
shot.
I'll see. Look cliff.
One
Look
shot.
cliff dead.
Two. Being
One
radio.
middle,
Could be our
okay?
mid door.
I'm
Mid door.
What's up?
Dead.
We're missing one. Okay.
He's our
You have to
tank. Our
guarantee
tank.
the
Our
point.
tank.
We do.
One shot. Dead.
Nice. I'm pushing up the cage. Okay.
I'm playing kills as well.
What? Well, smooth and slick comms there from the Paris Legion. They were faltering under the
What do you guys think? I feel like they sound checked. Like I feel like they're like I feel like they were just like scattering off a spawn. I feel like they were just scattering off a spawn and just like calling out what they see on their screen and just dying. I feel like that was about it. Like I feel like there was no plan of like what they really wanted to do. Like even like when they were challenging Cliff and stuff, they were just like running out of Cliff and dying. Like there was no like, yo, I'm sliding. You know what I'm saying? Like they're like, I don't know. It just sounded very reactive. Like that's it. Like they were just reacting to what they see, like what you said, yeah, and that's it. Like there was no extra stuff. And then yeah, we can skip forward to this map. This is just chalked. At this point, London won 2 offenses. This London team just outclassed this team. Plain and simple. If you guys really want to see it off the start really quick. Like London hops B. And once they cap B first, it's kind of over. Like the Paris guys got thrown into the Gavutu blender by London, which is London just outclassed this team in control. Plain and simple. And again, what I was just saying is the biggest part with like this reverse sweep and stuff all starts with the control. Like London is a good ass control team. They win this control and they get all this momentum back. Like they just fucking slam Paris here 3-0. And they're sitting there probably saying like after this, like these guys are fucking dog shit. Like let's win. Like, you know, like they're getting themselves hyped up now. Like when you win a team, it doesn't matter who you're playing. Like if that wasn't a shot at Paris. Like it doesn't matter who it is. Like they could be playing fucking OpTic, any team. If you go up like that and you fucking beat these guys, you just get the confidence like, yo, these guys are fucking shit. We can do this. You know, like now they're hyped up again. They get the momentum. They're feeling confident. And then that confidence swings into this next map. And it's just like where control is so important. Like control is a game changer, dude. Because now you have a confident team where they're like, yo, we're not out of this shit, bro. We're chilling. Like we just fucking outclass these guys. Like we are the better fucking team. Let's do this shit. And then this is where they like come roaring back in a sense. I do say that. Hold up. Okay. I do say that, but this is also a close map too. Like don't get me wrong. Like it wasn't like they just start bodying them. But this was a close map, but it's just like control is that mode that is just so good to swing you into good vibes, positive vibes. It's a good way to close out series. It's a good way to put you up 2-1. Like I don't know. I think it's underrated. Gizmo turns up at the end of this map. I hope we get a listen in. Do we get a listen in for London on this map? Yo, Coyote, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Big Cheesy and Coyote again with other gift. I appreciate it, guys. You do listen in, sweet. This is a good break out of Paris, by the way. They get around the back immediately. Jimbo gets a fucking big kill right here. Like, this is a solid, like, break for spawns. Like, a solid attempt. Skip forward. They get broke right back. Like, that sucks that they get broke right back, but that was good plays out of Paris. They played that well. It sucks that they lose all these fights, though, because this situation, getting the time from the front and then having well is also scary sometimes. Like, it can be. Yo, we got a 1-year sub, too. I appreciate you. Everyone show some love. Thank you, boy. Let's skip forward here. This is like a close map the entire time. They're kind of going back and forth. So we can watch it. We can watch this moment. So this P4, this London team's really good at this P4 in my opinion. I feel like they're really good at getting this time. Yo, MC, thank you for the bits. I appreciate it. So London gets this lead. So London gets this lead. They basically have the scrap until the very, very end. And like number 2 being out here, like look, number 2 being out here is a really good play. Just like watch him get out and have like these, like have this like engagement here. Like look, dude. This is good fucking plays. Number 2 being annoying as shit, dude. He gets cut, but that was still a good play. Yo, eTreezer, thank you very much for the gifted subs. I appreciate you. Tough. Dude, this hill is so mixy. Bro, this hill is so mixy. Yeah, the hill is crazy.
I'm nading that god heady. I'm waiting ready, okay?
Yeah.
Get god heady one shot.
I'm nading god heady. Push me. So I'm on a deep pinch.
You, done.
God heady weak.
One set backside now. They're backside hill.
He's switching now.
John, Trey, you drop down low, okay?
On the back. Shot on top Trey, I think.
Okay, nade top me.
Spawned on a nade.
Yeah, I'm not wrong church. Hit dead. Out with mid. That's weaker. One time.
1 mid.
Might be 8 pinch, John.
You go? No, he's got me, bro. He's still behind the block.
Give us one more push, that's it. Trying to go mid. We'll show me mid.
Flash up on block.
Mid, got me. You went out to left, Marcus, under church.
Offside.
Yeah, ready?
Go on the block.
Top, Jimbo. You got the ladder on you. Nice. Okay, let's go to new. Not one other.
1 second. Did I just hear that right?
Why are you playing that with me?
Went out to left, Marcus, under church.
1 second.
Yeah, ready? Go on the block. Top, Jimbo. You got the ladder on you.
Wait, I missed it. My bad.
We'll show me mid. Flash up on block. Mid, got me. You went out to left, Marcus, under church.
Offside.
Yeah, ready? Go on the block. Top, Jimbo. You got the ladder on you.
So like before we let this rest of this play out, like did you hear the communication of like I'll slide, all right, ready? And then like they push out together and stuff. And like just in general, like even like on their first break, how they're like, yo, I'm nading this heady, yo, I'm doing this, yo, I'm waiting here, yo, I'm deep pinching this. Like you see like what I mean by like the communication just being better and just good, like just good comms. Like they're not just saying like, oh, he's there. Oh, he's there. Oh, he's there. You know what I mean? Like it's just that's why what I wanted to highlight with this like London team is like Gizmo's waiting, and then like you know they're waiting for each other. They're saying that they're waiting. They're saying that they're nading this. They're saying that they're doing this. Like all this stuff, and then like yo, wait, I'll slide. Ready, go. You're like that shit is like seriously what sets like it's just so important, dude.
Go to new. Not one other.
Why are you playing that with me? One's back right. One's close to you, I'm pretty sure. Pushing out comes. Could be church.
Or outside you.
Okay, I'm backing up my back.
Last person gets time, I'll get you console for him. Leave church. Leave fucking church.
Like even there, like you hear it, it's like last person get time, I'll get this, leave fucking church. Like they're directing each other, dude. Like there's direction here. There's a plan.
Have you comms now, okay? You got plat?
Yeah, I have maps.
Yeah, you have Platt, like they're calling it out. You know what I mean? Like they're saying like, yo, is Platt open? Because a lot of teams just go silent and then Platt's actually open. You know what I mean? It's just like
You have comms, yeah, fully?
Yeah.
Pump church.
On the back of me, Jimbo.
One pump church. I think there's 2 around the back, guys. I'm trying to help you back.
Help. 3.
I'm netted it. Yeah.
Jimbo, comes open. Hold him up. Give me L.
I have it.
Let me go run. this?
What's the peak? John, pushing you close, pushing you close now. Pushing you close now. They've got me, Jonathan. Can hit ramp, man.
Jonathan.
John's close still. Arch, coming ramp. John me out, John me out. Ramp got me.
Yeah, he said he did ass at Jonathan.
Push up.
Well, maybe not a little bit of chaos in the columns, but maybe the first sign of a little bit of frustration for the London Royal Ravens. Not looking as clean as they would like it as Legion bust through in their breaking setup.
Yeah, I don't know. I think like just overall those comms just sounded like way cleaner. Like it's so important, dude. It's just so important. Like, so then they bring this back. London's like obviously, you know, getting the majority of time on this well hill. And then this, in my opinion, usually London's very good at this hill. Yeah, dude. This scrap time is really big for London because this next hill can obviously get mixy no matter what. This scrap time is huge. Then they lose the scrap time, but it doesn't matter considering since they brought him back here, they're able to win their one-on-one rotation battle here, and now they're in the new. So they just got majority of the time, the scrap time, and they're on new, dude. Yeah, that's just tough. This is also where it sucks, dude. Like right now, Ravens can win on this, and Paris obviously cannot. So Paris has to like fully invest to stopping this P5, also while winning the P1 rotation. Like you force Paris into a really tough position by doing this. Like you see what I mean? Even here, like Paris, like low-key can't really let them get all this scrap time, which they don't, but at the same time they're also not like super fast to this new hill. They're getting pinched. Like this is just London forcing Paris into a tough spot. But Paris looks like they're, you know, they're doing it. So look at this, chap. Look at this. Just watch this arrow the entire time. Like that's just good hardpoint, bro. Just watch this again. So the new hill just spawns up, and like look at Gizmo, dude. This is like an unreadable pinch. An unreadable pinch. He gets those 2 kills. Yeah, dude. That play is just like that is just a good player making a good play. That's tippable. You know what I mean? That is a in the moment play, a long route. Like they just played that well. That was just well played. To be fair, that third kill like gets traded. And like Paris still technically has a chance, but that play was just literally like just perfect. That was a good play. So Route Man gets paid right there, aka Gizmo at the end, and they win that. You know, again, we kind of said Paris winning 1 hard point, not 2 of them. Like beating London in 2 hard points is really tough. So Paris is still doing their thing and they're fighting, but it's just that control. Like both times now they've lost that control and they've gotten reverse swept. Like you should still be able to win one of the next 3 maps, obviously if you're not winning the control. But it's just tough, man. Let's see. And then going to Bocage SND. Personally, this Bocage SND is an absolute fucking blender at first. Like, they go up 3. And then Paris, I'm pretty sure Paris start coming back at this round. Maybe not. Is it the next round? Yeah, no, it's the next round. I'm sorry.
For a 6 and 3, 3 and 0 out of Nasty, 4 and 0 out of 0. It's pretty flawless so far.
Like he's already to get first blood this time around. Gizmo going to be looking for it. Chooses not to expose.
Yeah, they start getting bloods. Oh, is it 5-0? I thought it was 4-0. I'm sorry. They go up 5-0. Oh. Well, I did not realize that. I thought it was like Paris started showing some sign of life. Really? Yeah. You know, you guys are right. Because then they win the next 3 and then they lose. They win the next 3 and they lose. So Paris starts showing like signs of life here, but to be fair, there's nothing really to analyze. Like London looks really good. They look decisive like throughout that. Like they're winning their clutches when they need to. They're getting their bloods when they need to. Like everything was just kind of going in Ravens' favor. Like nothing too crazy to watch. And then by this time, if you're down 5-0 in a Bocage, anything is possible. It's never chalked, but you know, I don't know. It's just tough. After hearing that Paris team, after they lost that first round in the Gavutu control, and they were up 2-0 in the series and they sounded checked, like I'm imagining right now, like they're probably frustrated, right? Like I feel like if their comms sounded checked on in a 2-0 lead after losing 1 round of Gavutu, I feel like being down 5-0 last map after being up 2-0, I feel like it's chalked. You know, this is basically an impossible comeback anyway. It's possible, but very hard. But I definitely think this Paris team with the way, but like I definitely think that with the way this Paris team was reacting to the Gavutu L, I feel like this Paris team is not checking the composure here in this match specifically. Is it oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking of, the Rokkr bringing it back from 0-3 to 3-3. Maybe that's what it was then. So yeah, they do this, and then like, so this is the momentum round, obviously. You know, like they're getting their momentum back, and then let's watch from here. Yeah. They get the bomb down, they give up this A, and this retake. This retake is just fucking random, bro. This is just a scary retake. Dude, imagine being in the player's shoes here, just like trying to clear these buildings, dude. Fuck that. Yeah, dude. And then it's over. So Paris lose that. They go up 2-0. Then they lose it 3. You know, they lose 3. That is just kind of... That kind of sucks. I spent the most time on that match probably just because it was, you know, a 3-2. It was an interesting match. The next two matches are a little bit faster, so we can watch it. We'll definitely go through the Texas and Seattle match, probably more in depth, and then the Boston and Minnesota we're gonna kind of fly through. We'll talk about some other stuff during that. But yeah, dude, I don't know. This Paris team again. If you're a fan of Paris, you know, and you like this team, they're showing good signs. They're showing love. They're showing good signs of like, you know, we can do this. We're going up 2-0 against these teams, then we're choking it. But it's also like you got to start winning your controls, because you can't just lose all your controls like we just talked about. And then, you know, you have to figure out a way to fucking close out these series, because you're not going to keep stealing maps 1 and 2 every series you play. And then, like, if that's the case, and that you can't win your control, you're going to, like, this Paris team is going to start finding themselves down 1-2 in a lot of series, or down, you know what I mean? And that's an issue. So they got to figure it out, but their team definitely looks better. They're competing, they're playing close matches. It's just now they have to figure out a way to close some of these out. So I think if this team keeps getting better with practice, they have some more promising stuff coming up in the future, but we'll see. But definitely better than what Paris looked like. It's an improvement. But they still have a lot to, you know, work on. All right. On your screen. This looks really cool. I don't know. That I feel like I've never seen this before. But this looks really cool. But OpTic Texas versus Seattle Surge, baby. Where is it? Okay. So, keys to victory for Seattle Surge. Build off upset win. Beat Atlanta FaZe 3-2 last weekend. So, I guess, like, just, you know, keep the confidence from last series, I guess. That makes sense. And then hand OpTic first L on Tuscan Hardpoint this season. Seattle 3-1. OpTic 5-0. Okay. Need more playmaking from Mac and SND. 0.76 KD so far this season. I don't know how I feel about this. 1 second. Going to Seattle stats. So Seattle this year has played 4 Tuscans, and a bunch of Berlins. If I'm not mistaken, Mac carries the bomb majority, right? And this Seattle team is like super heavy on just planting the bomb, like on Berlin and Tuscan, right? I feel like the Seattle team is super heavy on planting the bomb on like on maps, and like I'm pretty sure it's usually Mac, if I'm not mistaken. If what I just said is correct, like, bro, Mac is playing like half of his fucking search and destroys, like just planting the bomb and trying to stay alive. Like, I don't know. Don't get me wrong. He can definitely be playing better in the sense of like, just because he's only planting bombs, like he can do it better. You can always do it better. But I definitely feel like pinpointing this on Mac is like more or less pinpointing like how can we protect our bomb carrier? You are like, how can we get the bomb down and then like allow Mac to make a play from it more? Again, like the keys to victory are always so weird to me. You guys know how I feel about this. I understand why they're on broadcast and shit, but it's just so odd because this is just like, if you read this from like casually just reading this and just like watching on broadcast, all you see is like Mac sucks. It's kind of like, you know, kind of the gist of what you get here. And, you know, if you really look into it, like Mac is putting his body on the line on every offense for this team by trying to, literally like the way they place a lot of their search rounds, they just like try and get the bomb down right away. It's like, this could just be worded or just like focus more on the sense of just like, yeah, you know, like I think Mac, like they have to find a better recipe to like help Mac out after the bomb goes down and shit and all that other stuff. Or even if what I'm saying is like not fully true and Mac's not actually dying after the bomb a lot, like it could just be, I don't know. This just looks weird because all this is saying is like Mac sucks, but like Mac doesn't suck. And like Mac's role on this team sets like a lot of people up. Like, for example, it sets Lamar up the clutch half the goddamn rounds because Lamar's always sitting in the back playing for the clutch because Mac gets the bomb down. You know what I mean? Like Lamar doesn't clutch any of his rounds when those bombs are down if Mac doesn't plant the bomb and then, you know, die. So it's just, I don't know. You guys know how I feel about that. Steph, thank you so much for the 16. And Lego, thank you so much for the Prime. I appreciate it. All right, OpTic Texas. Continues swing game dominance. Like we just said, control is the most important thing ever. And they are 10-1. So that makes sense. Fine success on the third map. 0-2 on Desert Siege. 0-1 on Bocage. Okay. On the third S&D map, I'm sorry. Okay. Elite at man down situations. OpTic is first in 3v4 win percentage. Second. Oh, that's a cool stat. So that means they're really good even if you get first bloods. That's cool. All right. So, all right, let's look at the vetoes. So we talked about the vetoes yesterday. I personally thought that OpTic might sneak in a Berlin again to test it out. Just because, you know, they've been working on their Berlin, but at the same time, I didn't know if they were going to go down that route because Seattle, if you were looking at the Atlanta phase match, Seattle looks like they played Berlin really, really well, right? So I didn't know if they were going to do that. So they shy away from Berlin here, and they want to go Bocage Tuscan. Seeing this map set, I personally think this favored OpTic a little bit. The Seattle team is very good at Bocage. So this was like, you know, this is a map that I thought either team could kind of come out and win. Like whoever kind of comes out gunning, you know what I mean, is like pretty important. So this map was good. It was this map where it's like I respect Seattle for doing this because Seattle vetoes Gavutu a lot, and they're just gonna play their maps. Like if Seattle gets Tuscan Bocage, they're happy as shit. If OpTic gets Tuscan Bocage, they're happy as shit. So like I actually completely respect like this pick out of Seattle, and I get it. Like you have to have confidence, and the Seattle team's good. They played these maps really well. Like they won one hard point, they lost one hard point. Like this map I thought would have favored, what's it called? I'm pretty sure the Seattle team is what, 1 or 2-0 on Bocage. They were 2-0 before this, and then OpTic's only played it once, and they were 0-1 if I remember correctly, and now they're 1-1. Yeah. So OpTic leaves Bocage in. And it looks like, again, they might be trying to expand their map pool and play it again and, like, you know, see what they can do. Kind of, like, sneak that in there and, like, let it go through. And then they vetoed Desert Siege, but at the same time, like maybe they just don't want to play Desert Siege, just because they don't look that good at it. I'm not too sure if they wanted to test out Siege or not. The thing with the Seattle team, of what we were talking about, is Seattle's also 0-2 on Siege. So this was more or less like whatever map that they're like OpTic are getting, it's a good way to like, you know, really work on their plan. So like they were going to get to work on one of their weaker maps here no matter what. And it's also good in the sense of just Seattle's a good team to do this against, but they didn't really couldn't avoid this is basically my point, because if they vetoed Bocage, Seattle might have picked Siege. I don't know if they would have, but Seattle gets rid of Berlin, which is a smart play. So this is a good map for OpTic, just in the sense of it being a regular season match and them trying it out, and they looked good on it. So, and then Control, man, I thought Seattle was going to finally do it. I thought someone was eventually going to take down this Texas team in a Control. I think Seattle kind of fumbled this, if I remember correctly, so we'll watch that pretty soon here. But this was a close-ass map, but again, OpTic winning that Control, man, like, dude, it's huge. And then Tuscan, OpTic is just good at Tuscan, and they win it, and then we'll go from there. So yeah, these vetoes look good. These vetoes look good. The only thing I thought might have been like that could have been different was like obviously this Berlin thing, and then if they veto Desert Siege, like I wonder, you know, like I don't know, but still. That's good stuff. Those vetoes are fine. This is really good for OpTic, in my opinion, in the sense of like getting to test that out map too. So, all right. Bocage SND. Bocage Hardpoint. Sorry, I'm faded. Was shocked to see OpTic subs getting fried on Bocage or Bocage slaying was on point for Surge here. Yeah, I mean, Surge is a good team, especially on a map like this. Pred specifically. I know Sid plays really well on this, I'm pretty sure. But Pred's really good at like running around like a fucking lunatic on this map and just like, you know, being in your base and shooting you in the back and just being annoying to play against. Max very good at being impactful with the sub. Sib is very good when Sib is hot, he's just fucking locking it down. And giving Lamar his credit, Lamar is annoying to play against on a map like this. Even though this doesn't like fit Lamar's play style as like a player throughout the years, Lamar just goes to the fucking tank. He just goes to all those really annoying AR spots and like makes it like annoying for the other team to play against, while his team is just kind of running around like lunatics around him. So like this team's a good map. This is a good map for Surge. This is a good map for Surge. They're very good at this. And then honestly, it just kind of looks like Shotzi and Scump, if I remember correctly, just don't slay like you guys are saying, and then it's one of those Bocage blunders. If I'm OpTic or an OpTic fan, I'm not like saying like, oh, we need work on Bocage. It looks like they just kind of came out slow. And again, Seattle's actually not bad at this map though. And like, yeah, Sib just went off. Like this map sometimes is going to just go in a favor where if you're not like on point with your slaying, like you might just fucking lose it. You know what I mean? Like Sib fucking fries this map. I'm pretty sure he goes like 37-19 or something. Scump said he was in the blender. That's what I mean, dude. Like sometimes you're just going to be the fucking blender, dude. It happens. It happens, dude. I like your description to Seattle. No, their team like on a map like this is weird because Sib is like a demon. Like if Sib is hot, Seattle's a scary team because Pred, even if Pred's not doing well in the sense of kills, he's still annoying to play against. I think Mac is one of the most underrated players in the CDL, in my opinion. I really do. And then Lamar, again, Lamar's not known for being like a crazy cracked AR, like and like dropping like big numbers, but Lamar is so consistent where he's going to be in spots like this where it's like he's always in annoying ass spots like this where he's going to play the AR role really well. And if he's doing that and he's getting like his ones and he's doing his thing while his team's running around, like they're annoying. They can be annoying to play against on a map like this. So I see why like they like this map and like why they're good at it, you know? OpTic seem to always come out slow because if they can figure out how to come out fast, it would be amazing. I mean, I don't think they always come out slow. They just won the major, and I don't think they just like. I mean, I guess they lost 0-1 to London, and they lost. I guess they went down 0-2 to us. I see what you're saying. That's more of like a again, for what you're saying. I feel like that's more of like a map pool thing again. You know, just having strong maps everywhere. Because like when they played us, they went down 0-2, but like we played them on Bocage, you know, and like Bocage is our map in the sense, you know what I'm saying? Like that was our map to win in that series in the sense of like, in my opinion, I think like the way my team plays Bocage right now currently is just like really strong. So it's like, if they have a very complete map pool, it becomes easier to start off hot. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that OpTic doesn't, because I think OpTic's the best team in the game, but it's just working on overall all the maps that like get really strong at all of them. But I see what you're saying. But even like I'm pretty sure they played Berlin at the Major versus London, and when they played Berlin at the Major versus London, if I'm correct, again, like Berlin's just a map that London's really good at. You know, it happens to everybody, especially on this game. The outslaying numbers massively inflated due to the Bocage from Seattle. Yeah. Yeah. What is it? Negative 35 on Bocage, but then +7, +10, +9. Yeah. All right. So keep skipping forward through this. Like you see what Pred's doing right now? This is what I was talking about. Like Pred's just annoying to play on this map sometimes. Like look at him, dude. He's just running fucking circles over here, dude. Like the hill's over here and Pred's over here in your base just being annoying, dude. I bet OpTic's first map win percent are below average and you can take that back for a couple of years. Yeah. I mean, it could definitely be a thing. Like maybe it's like a mental thing where like they're just starting off slow and then they're like, yo, let's fucking kick it up, and they do. Like, I don't know. That could definitely be a thing. I see what you guys are saying. It's just like I think sometimes too, it's like it's hard to always start off 1-0 sometimes if you know, like you're depending on like what maps are, you know, you're starting off with and shit too. Like OpTic's a very good Bocage team, and so is Seattle. So like I think them losing this, that they just start off slow, like it happens. Ooh, listening. I wouldn't like overthink that too much yet. Is kind of what I'm getting at. I think they're fine, but I don't know. All right.
I can challenge him. I'm one shot. One could've went through left. On time somewhere. Barn dead. Dash you water tank probably, right? Yeah, on team. A plat got dead. I'm holding tank right now. You think you stop. Tab out. Pick up right as spawn. I'm holding low. I'm in the back. Back out. Dash you dead. One more time. In the back. In hot. Let's go. Oh my god. Push your water. I'm looking back right. Yeah, someone's getting it. I'll push the right. Let me see it. Could be back right. I'm watching your back. It's back right. Push your. I'm flanking top house. I'm seeing him in the back. I'm flanking A plat. Dead. Trick. Rails, back right. Dead. Nice. I got time. Bottom dead. Nothing water tank. Hold water tank. I can see. Hold one shot. He's dead. Look at bottom barn. One is water tank. Get some good nades. T2. Close time. Barn dead. I'm nading T2 shots. One shot. One water tank. Okay. T2 water tank. Last guys. Time guy with me. I'm going top barn. I'll kill the kid time. Water tank. Weak. Go 10. I can see for top barn. T2 dead. Nice. Water tank dead. I got A plat. I got him. Last guy missed right here. Nice. I have a glide. They're on you as you get time. I'm pushing bottom house. Low water. Rat back. Back house. You went cam. I'm stunned until you can challenge. You went back right. He's stunned. Challenge. I'm talking 10. All right. One set this all. Last guy. Yep. He ran away. I'm trying to push. I'm going to tunnel replay. Come up. Two special sets. Rip dead. A plat Lamar.
Oh. So really quick, in the beginning of that listening, like you heard Lamar like saying like, make sure we do this off spawn. Make you like they were talking like very, very high in the sense of like, yo, make sure we do this off spawn. Make sure we're doing this. Like they're very, very good at like pinpointing like what they needed to do and like just in general. And if you're watching this map right now, like OpTic's not slaying for sure, and Pred's being an annoying pain in the ass in their base, and Sib's fucking frying. Lamar's playing great. Max playing great. They're just fucking they're firing in all fucking cylinders right now. Like that being said, it also like I feel like OpTic just hasn't controlled this game at all in the sense of spawns. I feel like OpTic is constantly getting flipped towards the end of the hill, having to play for the next spawn, and it's just like fucking a huge pain in the ass when you're like constantly playing from that angle of this map where you kind of saw Pred saying he was flanking like the barrels and sitting in their house. Like every time you're spawning back here on this P2, like just to back it up really quick. Oh shit, wrong thing. Let me just like lower this real quick. Like just like look. So like right here, this hill starts. They get spawns. Like look at Pred. Like every time you're trying to break the spawns and like create a break, this motherfucker Pred is just in your base. And when you're playing from like, you know, the spawns that you don't prefer and like you're trying to do your best, like especially when you're not winning some of your gunfights that you are also just not winning, like I'm sure they're losing. Like it's just, bro, like this, like, you know, even when you're trying to do it, like having this guy do this shit, like just look at his arrow, dude. He's just all over you. Like this guy thinks he's getting to the tank. He gets like bad timing, but it's just like, dude, he's just like, you got to constantly have to like kill someone in your base, even though he doesn't get kills there. It's just very, very hard to like, you know, find that rhythm when Seattle's controlling the game like that. So like, I definitely feel like the majority of this map that we're watching too is also like just, I feel like Seattle just, I mean, OpTic just not like controlling the spawns like super well. And that's just going to happen sometimes, right? Like that's just like not even, you know, it just is what it is. But, what's it called? Someone just asked in the chat, what does FaZe have to do for you to say they're the best team in the game again? I mean, that can't be more of a simple question. Wouldn't we just need to win? Like, I don't know. Like isn't winning like if you don't win, you're not the best, right? Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not sitting here saying I don't believe my team's the fucking best. Like, we work fucking hard and like, but we got to prove it. You know, we can go 75-0 in every scrim that we play for the next 3 weeks. If we don't win when it matters, we don't, like, you know, they got to win. Like OpTic, like I just feel like it is what it is. Why is OpTic winning more? I mean, they've won one major, and we haven't. Like, I feel like we have to just keep practicing and bring it to the major. I mean, bro, OpTic was 0-2 in their qualifiers last thing, and everyone was fucking freaking out, and then they won, and then, you know, now I can, like, now they're the best. And then, like, it's just like, when you win, you're the best. For them, like, 99% of the time, unless, like, it's like a fluke. But I don't know. Like, we're still playing really well in scrims and stuff, but we gotta just do it when we do it. Like, at the major. I don't know. If OpTic were to lose to the Mutineers, would you still consider them the best in the game? Yes. What? Before we go, I'm so confused. Guys, losing one regular season match does not mean you're the worst or the best in the league. Like you don't just start going like this in the power rankings because you lose like. I feel like OpTic won the major and they're 2-0. Like, we could start off fucking 0-3 and then win the major, and then that just means our practice and stuff, and through the major, if we look really good, I don't know. Like, if you lose the first hardpoint in the series, it's like you don't just suck. Like, yeah, I feel like the recency bias is like ridiculous. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah. So anyway, so going back to this, so like here, so OpTic's all over this. They actually OpTic, this hill specifically, you can, like, as long as you're in this hill first, you can kind of trap them in the back pretty bad, or you can also, like, you know, push them out and spawn them all the way out here too. Like, you just like all the way out pretty bad too. Like, I don't know. So like this hill too now, it's like, you know, OpTic doesn't have spawns on this hill, and this hill can be a pain in the ass. But if you get in this hill again, like Bocage is weird because if you get in the hill, you can start doing it. But when you do, like when you are getting in the hill from the front, like you have to actually start dominating the kill feed to like really, really make it work. And it just like, again, it just looks like they started slow. So like to skip past this map now. Hold up, sorry. Like Seattle takes a pretty commanding lead off that. This is where like OpTic can bring it back, but here. This right here. So OpTic can bring it back right here, especially on this hill if they like get the spawns and they like push out and like, you know, spawn them all the way 10 and shit. But like number 6, which is Lamar, makes a solid ass play. I'm pretty sure this like plays out pretty well too. Yeah, like yeah, he has streaks. Like this play out of Lamar was solid because Lamar gets into their base, clears them out with streaks, wins the rotation. And honestly, kind of fumbles it right there, low key. Lamar could have done even more if he realized like where they were spawning and shit. But just in general, this of them having 2 sets of streaks and them like, you know, kind of putting a halt to their push right here just fucks OpTic. Like, this is just tough. Like this just like completely stops OpTic from like getting back into the game. In my opinion, if that play doesn't happen, obviously the streaks and shit are huge too. Like OpTic could have like kind of fought back and maybe like clawed them way back in there. But like you could just see like Scump and Shots are just playing bad right now. Just having a bad map. And then again, like this is slaying power constantly over and over and over again. Like fights were just hard to win. And skipping forward, like OpTic actually do a pretty good job at this P1, but they don't have the spawns again. This play right here, Shotzi gets through, makes a huge play. This would be their moment again of truth where they can come back. But Sib has streaks, which is just kind of shitty. Like again, it just all starts from slaying the streaks. OpTic actually starts kind of kicking up here, and then the streak shut them down twice. It's insane they're only down 20. I don't know. I see where you guys are coming from, and definitely like getting outslayed, but the way Bocage plays out, man, like even in scrims, I feel like you see this is a little severe, but like you see a lot of close games when like the numbers don't make sense sometimes. Like Bocage is just fucking weird, man. It's like it's just a mix. And it's just weird though too, because like I will say like some of the kills that OpTic were getting like were like really, really big plays. Like they would get through, they would stop it, but then like Seattle would just react and stop, like, you know, just like completely get it back. Yeah, they were in a running simulator. Yeah, they were just in the fucking blender. Period. Like that was just like Seattle was just firing on all cylinders and OpTic was in the goddamn blender. And that just happens. It is what it is. But the reason why this OpTic team is so fucking hard to beat, dude, is because even if you go up 1-0 on them, they're still really good at control, right? So they're probably going to get that win as of now. And then still they win this search. And that, like, as soon as they won the search, if you're watching this match and you're sitting there, and if you're an OpTic fan, you're happy. But if you're a Seattle fan, you're like, fuck, dude, like, this is going to be a tough Tuscan to win, right? So it's just so important. Yeah. The Bocage slaying thing is weird because I've seen maps where like people have outslayed heavily in scrims and shit and like win by like, you know, 10 points. And then I've seen maps where like the kills are even and then I've seen my team win by like, you know, 70 points. It's just weird. Bocage plays out very, very odd because some of the timings and shit and somehow the way you get spawns and like routes that are hitting taken and shit. Can you turn up the volume? Sure. And turn it up. It should be better. I don't like having it too loud because then I can't even hear my fucking self speak. Like it comes through like really loud in my headset if I go all the way up. We'll watch some of these rounds out again. We're on pace because this last match that we're gonna break down is gonna be pretty boring. So yeah. We're going to go a little bit more in depth with this one. And then the last match is boring. And then we'll take some questions. Aches is kind of right. Surge only win if Sib and Pred are absolutely frying. Yes. In that sense, yes, for sure. Like, but Aches is definitely a Seattle hater. And, like, they, you know, like, obviously if they're frying, they're winning. But, like, I don't know. What, like... Really quick, we'll talk about, like, save these questions for after when we're just, like, you know, when we're just talking, like, taking normal questions and shit. But, like, you can't just blow up the team. Like, I don't know. We'll talk about it after. We'll talk about it after. Save these questions for, like, after when we're not trying to watch the map and shit. Because then, like, we end up getting into conversation. But, like, yeah, that's a weird thing because it's, like, phase only win if, like, someone's going off. Like, people have to go off. Like, some people have to play well. Like, I don't know. We'll talk about it after. All right, so OpTic plays that well. They win that. That was a clean round. Big pick out of Lamar right there on the B side to open up the B pick, open up the B lane. But like I kind of hate this though. Like what the fuck did I like? It's so weird. It's so weird. Bocage is a weird map, so it's kind of hard to critique shit like this. But like, look. We get one kill, and like now the B lane's pretty open. Why push A? You know? Like, I know they don't have a mini map, but they can't see. I know they don't have a mini map, so they can't like see where the OpTic players are positioned, and we can. So we're like, you know, sitting here in hindsight. But like, you know, like you get the first blood. Like it seems like they like. I know Bocage is a fast-paced map, so rapping on this map is weird. So it's a lot easier said than done. But like, I feel like that first blood was just so useless. It just got it got. The first blood just got no one anything, is like my point. You know what I mean? And I feel like, you know, even if you can critique my own team, like on our Tuscans, we got 10 first bloods and we lost round 11. All our first bloods were useless, like for the team. You know what I mean? You got to like have like your first blood actually be impactful sometimes. And it just kind of sucks because they go A and then they just get shut down. You know? I don't know. Like, I feel like that wasn't OpTic's round to win. I feel like Seattle just kind of blew that by like doing that. I don't know. It was just silly to me. Here we go. Gavutu trying to make a play. Gotta, you know, someone's got to do something. Nothing crazy. And this obviously goes in Seattle's favor. Like, Shotzi just tries to make a play there. Someone's got to make a move. You know, Shotzi's going to go for it. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. How the fuck did Pred just get there? Oh, he ran through tools, bro? Wait, bro. So Pred shoots front door and says, fuck it, I'm gone. Bro, the timing of that is nuts. Yeah, that sucks. That's just a good play out of Pred. He catches the timing. Guy's a maniac, dude. But then even there, it's just so weird, dude. Oh, wait, I remember this round. Never mind. Like, bro, even there, though, it's like your Pred gets those first two bloods, and I know you're in a mix. But it's just like, I wish, like, somehow they communicate to get together and shit. You know what I mean? Like, Pred is fucking nuts for doing that, though. And I'm not, like, blaming Pred in any way. Like, it just, like, it sucks that they couldn't, like, coordinate that after that. But Bocage is really hard to do that. But this 1v1 clutch, by the way, or the 1v2 that becomes a 1v1, dude, the way Sib plays this, by the way, is awesome. I think this is really good plays out of Sib. You guys seen this, right? So, like, Sib gets this bomb down. And I think Sib plays this really well. Of course, there's a lot of timings going on. And, you know, this is just an absolute... Like, if you're Dashy right now, this is terrifying. But, like, the whole wrap back and playing the window, like, this was planned out by Sib, in my opinion. He planted it there, knowing that he could either check it from, like, you know, over here, over, like, he just played it really, really well. Sib catches an eye, and he's like, yo, I'm gone. Like, look at this play. I love this play. I think this is a really heads-up play out of Sib. Like, bloop. He's chilling. GG. He's won it. There's no way he loses this. Bloop. Like, I think that was overall just a really, really good play out of Sib. I don't think Dashy had a chance. Like, Dashy was just in a tough situation. Like, Sib just played that really well. That was impressive.
Basically around the entire map, puts himself in a great angle to shut down that bomb. As Seattle are now down 3-2, but look at the pressure coming in from middle map. They're going to be super aggressive towards bottom middle on defense. Red, all kinds of comfortable in the middle.
Solid shots, solid shots. And a 2v4. They win that. Yeah, this is a good map so far. Like, you know, like, they're going back and forth. Like, this Bocage is crazy to watch, dude. Like, Bocage SND, just the way it goes. Dude, this, bro, when you're like Scump and Shotzi and shit, or you're just like Scump over here, it's just so scary. But that first blood from Dashy is huge, opening up the map. Even if they plant the bomb, like they have numbers for that. Scump plays a really good job. Like, I like what Scump does there, because I'm pretty sure when we were watching like the London-Paris game, like remember when Paris just let like them plant? I know it was a 4v4 scenario, so it's a little bit different. But like you see how like Scump plays a spot where like if the bomb does go down, he can pretty much get the trade off the bomb immediately. Like you see like the difference between how Paris played it and then like Scump played it. I know it's a difference because it's a 4v3 and Dashy gets the first blood, but just being in a defensive setup that's not so far backed up. Like Mac puts the bomb down. By the way, we were talking about Mac not being able to make plays. Like the motherfucker's putting the bomb down. Like, you know, like what the fuck? Like he's gonna die. Like what? How is Mac supposed to make a play here? Like what is Mac supposed to do? You see that? That's kind of what I was saying with the key to victory. Like a lot of his deaths probably look like something similar to that. But it's just like I like the way that Scump and OpTic play this, where it's like, yeah, you can plant the bomb in a 4v3. We'll let you. We'll most likely kill you right off the fucking bomb. And as soon as we kill you right off the fucking bomb, it's a 4v2 retake, and now you're screwed, you know?
Slowly makes his way through veteran-like play. They're out of the king, as it will give OpTic numbers, but Pred at least able to find one in what was a 4 versus 2, now turned to a 2 versus 3. Shotzi's on the defuse. Scump's gonna have to watch over him. Does accuracy see him on the bomb? He does not. Accuracy does not see Shotzi on the bomb.
Tough. They could have made that work. They could have made that work. I thought Lamar was gonna see him on the bomb. Like, I thought Lamar was going to see him and then, like, you know, shoot him there and then get it down, but he doesn't see him right there, which sucks. Like, right here, like, he just doesn't see him. That was still possible for Seattle to win, but, like, I think OpTic played that really well by forcing themselves into 4v2. Oops, I didn't mean to pause that right there. And then, what? OpTic takes these next two, right?
Back on the offense, you've seen it, but they've been putting a lot of pressure towards this middle of the map. They've been really trying to attack this B-bomb. This time, actually, is going to switch to his positioning, play towards that back fence.
Oh, and how about the plays? Oh, wow. Out of shot.
See, in my opinion, that should never be possible. Ever. When we were watching this, like, we were just, like, you know, watching the matches and shit, I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck? Like, Shotzi did a good job stretching the bomb for the defuse. Absolutely. Yeah. Like, this is where, like, I'm confused. Like, this setup, like, dude, like, I feel like Shotzi being able to do this should never be possible. Something like this should never, ever, ever be open. Ever. And, like, if you're going to leave it open, then, like, I think Sib needs to be shifted where, like, he's not playing how he's playing. You see what I mean? Like, this is just a clear gap in their setup, and it just sucks. And then Shotzi takes full advantage. And especially if you let Shotzi do some weird shit on the map, he's going to do it. Yeah, I'm playing ranked after Joe. Like, that passive play at a surge just fucks them. And now Mac tries to make a play. I respect him trying to make a play. Like, you know, I get it. Like, whatever. And then they lose this. And now it's 5-3. Oh, shit. Skip too far there. Here you go. Shotzi is good at finding that gap. He is, but, like, that gap also should never be left open. And when you're playing against a player like Shotzi, you got to know, like, this is so much easier said than done, by the way, because Shotzi's so good at it. So it's like, you know, why does everyone just watch Shotzi make a play? Like, I get it. But you can't leave a gap like that open, dude. Because that's just, like, you know, when you're playing against a player like Shotzi, you got to be on your shit. Or he'll make you learn real quick that you fucked up. I actually love this play out of Surge, though. They get the bomb down. They're just decisive, and then Scump just opens it up. I think that was just good timing, right? Scump got the timing on the cross, and then he sees him cross and hops down on him. That was just good timing for Scump. That was good play. The Texas shut it down there, and now, like what we were just talking about, I'm gonna speed run this. This Tuscan control. Seattle plays this Tuscan control well. Where is it? So they play this Tuscan control well. They're going back and forth in lives. But, like, you know, it doesn't even matter about the live count as much as I care about. Like, I'm pretty sure this last round, is this last round where Lamar uses his streaks? Lamar has streaks for this last round, right? Yeah. Right? I'm pretty sure Lamar has streaks here. Yeah, he does. Okay. So this Tuscan control goes back and forth. And this was the first time I thought OpTic was going to... I was like, oh, you know, OpTic could lose this. You know, like, I was like, OpTic could lose this. This is you know, last round defense for OpTic. We talk about this all the time. If you guys just want to hear my opinions, if anyone's new to the podcast or, you know, watching it on YouTube and you're new. talk about this all the time. I think they're the best control team in the game right now, and I think the reason why is they're very, very good at playing their lives half the damn time. And I feel like OpTic gets last round defense a lot. I'm sure there's a stat for that. Could be wrong. I don't know. That's just how I feel. But I feel like they get last round defense a lot. They're really good at playing their kills. They're a very good control team. They're very, very coordinated with how they want to take their base. Everything is usually in unison right now for this OpTic team. I thought right here, though, even though they got that last round defense, those streaks from Lamar, I thought they were going to come in clutch, you know? But we'll watch this round play out. I thought this is it. They're also good on attack. Absolutely, they're good on attack, too. Like, they're a good control team overall. But I feel like even when they play, like, some of the best teams, they're very good at playing the long game, too. You know what I mean? Like, they're just so good in the sense where they can beat you on offense, and then when they play like a tough fucking, you know, when they play a tough game that goes back and forth, I feel like they're really good at getting that last round defense, is what I was saying. Like, you know, like I'm not saying they never win their offense and they only get defenses. I'm more or less saying, like, even when times get tough for this OpTic team, they play the long game. You know what I mean? They're always either going to beat you quickly, and even if you don't, you know, you go back and forth and you're trading blows or whatever, like, you go to this last round and OpTic's always somehow in the driver's seat. I just feel like they're very good at playing the long game, even when things aren't going in their favor all the time. So I just think they play it very, very well. This series could have easily been a Seattle 3-1. I mean, our series could have easily, like, anything could have easily been anything in competing. You know, like, that's just the clutch factor. I could have easily won 4 more championships in my career, you know, like, but I didn't. You know, like, I don't know. You guys know my mindset here. Oh, so this is it. So my fault. Man, like, I don't know. I understand this streak. Because they have, like, full map control and they're gonna, like, try and, like, you know, open it up. But, like, they don't have, like, I don't know. They didn't, like, have anything, is my point. So, like, my point here is, like, I get the streak, but you don't have radio, what we call radio, like this building right here. You have church, you have arch, you have P5, but you don't have radio. Like, I feel like this is a pre-pop streak here with no map, like, not enough map control. They have map control. You can't say they have no map control. They don't have enough map control, because these guys running in the radio should be easy fucking kills when that glide bomb gets called in. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't know. Like, these guys run in the radio. Imagine if there was 2 people radio and, like, 1 person P5, you know, like, or they had radio control too. Like, the back doesn't really matter. It's like, I feel like right here is where you want to, like, make sure that these guys get killed. So I just feel like this streak isn't coordinated well enough. Even if it does work out, I still feel like it could have been better. Because, like, this guy, like, imagine if they kill the guys in radio and then he kills the guy in the back kind of thing. I don't know. So he doesn't get a kill with the streak, which is tough. They go to the flank, but now, like, they kind of get their base control, but you can just see how, like, radio is still open and they don't have platform control. You can do this, but it's just like, you just blew your streaks. You know, like, you just used your streaks. You don't have ticks. And if this doesn't go in your favor, which is now very possible, like, you kind of just fucked it up, in my opinion. Like, without having that radio control. And when you make a play like this against OpTic, like what you just said, Roy, so if you're making a play against, like, OpTic will probably not let you get away with that. And they don't. You see what I mean? And even though they get these kills, they still got a guy, like, there's this motherfucker, still here he is, like, you know what I mean? Like, he gets that kill, but it's just, like, still, they're not getting enough done on the point. It's just tough, dude. And, like, Surge is still in a good spot to, like, you know, do their best, but, like, they just don't, like, get anything out of this. Like, they made it mixy, right? They made it mixy, and, like, they kind of do their best in the slaying world, where, like, now 14 lives, by the way, you could potentially win this off of lives. It's possible. You know, it's definitely possible. But you got no ticks. You're probably not going to win this off of ticks now, right? And now you're fucked. And it just sucks because, like, I think Seattle does a good job at making it mixy, but if that was just cleaner, they could have gotten a tick or 2, and, like, they have a chance to do it. You know what I mean? So, like, It just sucks. I think that streak could have been used better. And since it wasn't, I just don't think I don't all of this what's going on right now? Why are we insta replaying this? What was that, by the way? I lost full when I was watching when that happened. Did anyone else like was that what are we replaying? What? Cool. You shot 2 people in the back. Like I think they were just testing it out. Maybe. Okay. Maybe that's true. But I don't know. That looked weird. That could be a cool feature if it's like used better. But yeah, I don't know. That was weird. I don't know. That looked weird to me. The caster's miscounted on broadcast. Oh no, you're talking about something else. Oh yeah, sorry, backing up, my bad. So again, Shotzzy makes a fucking play. Seattle Surge is making a fucking push, and this guy Shotzzy's always doing it on this map. Like Shotzzy's so good at being like super ratty in your base and annoying, and like even when it looks like maybe Seattle might make a push here, maybe here comes Shotzzy anyway to shut it down, and then right here you skip forward. OpTic has all this map control. You're probably not going to win this at this point. Dash getting that 2-piece just makes it even harder. And then, yeah, dude. Shots just go over this 5th round. I mean, that 2-piece was just like so heartbreaking for them. And then all these wins go. But like, if you want to back it up one last time, like after that 2-piece, like look, after this 2-piece down and they wipe them, like as soon as they wipe them, they have map control. OpTic is now free to like break through the map and actually take map control from them. Like Optic's really good at playing tight, and they're playing tight, and they're playing tight. And then as soon as they get that 4 dead, which is inevitably going to happen, they're able to like take off with this 4 dead and like take map control. So they just play good, and like they just close it out. But it all stems from that streak. I think that streak was the biggest highlight for that round. I think if that streak was used better, I'm not even blaming accuracy on that. Just as a team, if that the team's plan there with that streak was not fully planned out, in my opinion, and that kind of fucked them. So I think that was tough. They had a chance to do to do some fucking real damage, and they didn't. So that's just kind of it just makes it tough for them. So that was the highlight for that. Do you believe in players having better timing? Yeah, like absolutely. All Call of Duty timing can be random sometimes. Like oh, that was just COD timing, but like certain players have better timings than others because like timings are all in your head. Like the way you play the game, like you think Shotzzy doesn't just get lucky with his timings. You know what I mean? Like Shotzzy is gifted when it comes to understanding how what's going on the map. Like I can't explain this, I guess, but Shotzzy people like Shotzzy and these best players in the world. Like I'm just using Shotzzy as an example. Like his internal clock of when people are spawning up, like he's counting people spawn. Like as Shotzzy's running through the map and people are dying, he's counting when they're spawning up and routes that they normally take. So him getting that random timing through is not random. It's him very good at tracking what's going on. It doesn't always work, but him doing that consistently is because he's gifted as a player. There's a lot of players that do that. You know what I mean? It's just, and that's why there's players that are better than others. Better routes and equals better timing. Exactly. I don't know. He says it's random on this game. I mean, okay. I just don't agree. There are random timings. There are random timings that happen, especially in Bocage. But you're gonna tell me that you think Shotzzy just runs around and gets lucky? A BZ does it too, Simp does it too, all these good subs that do it. I can go down a goddamn list of them. I don't know. I don't think they're just running around aimlessly and being wow, I got lucky that map. Let's go. Fucking fist bump. they know the spawns, they know the timings, and they know the routes player takes, so they kind of know, like, you know, like, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of silly just to say it's all random. There are definitely times where timing is just really tough and it is random. Like, that's going to happen. Like, that's going to happen. But consistently speaking, Shotzzy is not just, I don't know. Not a big believer in luck, like, in that sense. Like, every once in a while, like, luck doesn't go in your favor for sure, but I don't know. I think that's silly. All right. So this is two Tuscan teams going at it. They're both good at Tuscan, and we'll watch this, and then we'll breeze through this last match too. We still have some time for the normal like 2 hour and 20 mark.
Game number 4. What could be the final game of this series, or what could be the opener for Surge to send us to a game 5? As it is OpTic right now.
OpTic starts off hot. Obviously, they win their break. Here we go.
And then it all comes down to Shotzzy. Right off the rip, his initial break off was just to go right to bottom church. He was able to come up behind that one player, eventually closes out on a 3-3. But you're thinking big picture. He was able to flip these spawns, and OpTic are getting a good chunk of time off of this P1 hardpoint. So now if you're Seattle, they're able to find at least a couple kills towards bottom church, but the spawns are still coming in from OpTic.
And then like look at here, like OpTic does a really good job. They hold that P1 scrap time majority of it, and then here they are, Shotzzy pushing out, getting those random timings, you know. Look at this lucky timing out of Shotzzy, dude. Ah, so lucky. Oh, he gets by the guy church. So lucky. Damn, bro. Very lucky that guy spawned there. That was tough. That was real lucky that guy spawned there, dude. Ah, unlucky for Shotzzy. You got unlucky. But yeah, here, like, so here, first of all, just to highlight really quick, just because, sorry, I was kind of just fucking trolling. My bad. So yeah, on top of that, Seattle actually does a very good job of breaking this. So they come through the front, they break it, they get lucky. And here we go. We're gonna watch it from here. This is a good play at a number 6. That's a good play of playing like that pocket.
This needs to be the answer for the Seattle Surge to get right back into this game. You cannot allow OpTic to break it towards this P3 hardpoint, because this is a money hill on the side of the Surge. They already have the proper setup. One player pushed out towards top roofs, one player roaming around that field side. So you're going to spawn OpTic all the way across the map. As P3 is already popped. Accuracy does lose that gunfight towards the left. Illy does win a gunfight towards
So this, I was gonna say, like the way OpTic has this set up right now, I was gonna say they're gonna spawn Seattle Godheady, which kind of sucks.
So now this opens up the bench for OpTic. They've got 2 players coming in from either
Yeah, like they double pinch, and like this happens all the time. That Godheady spawn is whack, but it is what it is. They spawn Godheady, and they make this possible. This guy Godheady though actually ends up like kind of like screw it, like, you know, like not being able to watch over him in time. Lakes? Wait, you guys are tripping. Hold up, first of all. But really quick, so that Godheady spawn, by the way, that Godheady spawn right here, like, is really good. But they're able to just, like, kind of flood this after they get these roof spawns and do it. So they still do a good job for breaking. But they break, and, like, technically speaking, they break at the last 20. So, like, Seattle can control this game if they want to here. So let's see what they do. So Seattle's playing scrap time. Number 7's trying to get there in time and, like, you know, get this timing here to fucking, like, you know, try and stop them and shut it down. It sucks that they, like, don't fully shut this down. I don't think they know that this guy got through. But, like, notice this real quick. Like, so notice these spawns. Again, Vanguard can be really annoying. By the way, yeah, the whole Lakes thing, like, I know you guys are trolling, probably, but Aches is not an idiot at all. Like, Aches is very, very smart. Like, he, like, but, like, you know, everyone, like, I think the lucky timings thing, I didn't hear what Aches actually had to say. I was just kind of trolling. But if Aches actually said like this game is just random and luck, like I don't think that's probably what he said. So I'm sure that's out of context. But there are inconsistent timings, but yeah, that's not luck. It's obviously the actual answer to that. But okay, look at this real quick. Like look at number 5. The spawns on this hill. So the spawns on this hill, you can spawn roof, you can spawn Godheady, or you can spawn field, right? He said auto tac sprints hurts timing. Auto tac sprint, in my opinion, is definitely fucking crazy. So, we'll go there on a different day. Like, you see here? You see here? Like, the field, the roof, the Godheady spawns. Look at this.
No, not able to find it. Final 7.
They don't block field. Like, Seattle can control this game right here, bro.
Seconds are gonna go the way of Seattle as it is what crazy trade after crazy trade, team fight after team fight. As we're now in toward church, and it is a battle again for spawns.
And
Tough, dude.
we're able to actually take control of the spawns for the time being, but that's gonna be every single
Like, that could have got real bad for Seattle real quick. It doesn't.
spawns towards this P2 hardpoint.
But it could have.
Hold from the serve to get back into this one. 40 seconds
OpTic got a lucky rotation, in my opinion.
this of the serve, but actually take this initial push. He still has spawn 40 seconds remaining on this P4.
You almost got me with that.
Trying to attack from the top of church.
But yeah, no, so Seattle almost gets fucked by that, but they don't. So that was good out of Seattle to obviously regain there.
Start this P4. Pred, unfortunately. Oh, he does not get taken down. He's on a 5 speed. Potential to pick up this Glad, he can find another 2.
Let's give everybody so close to streaks. Now it's Pred's opportunity. Is it a caster curse? You bet it is.
It's the caster curse.
My bad, Surge fans. But hey, at the very least,
All right, so Surge is in a pretty good spot. They have, like, even though they're spawning deep, like, they're going to have the side that they, like, that technically kind of want usually, or most teams kind of want it, and they had the scrap. They don't get the scrap here, and now they're going to get beat through middle. Like, this is the tough part. Yeah. That was a really good play out of Shotzzy to take, like, the middle area. Dude, I want to say to take the middle timing, but I can't even say that right now with a straight face. He takes the middle timing, and, like, he gets through. Like, that just sucks because they lost the scrap time. Them losing the fights at scrap right there, low-key kind of fucked them, to be honest with you. Them losing, like, those fights at the scrap, like, if you back it up, like, look. Like, these fights at the scrap suck because, like, you know, number 6 or whatever, like, he dies, then Shotzzy wins this. This 2-piece by Shotzzy, like, look what this leads to. Like, these guys are rotating to the hell, and he takes the middle timing, and, like, look, gets right through. And now, since he gets right through, even though they lose the fight at the rotation, this guy can't even make a play because he's got middle held down, and then he puts OpTic in a really good spot to, like, you know, take advantage for the initial point of this hill. So this was just really good plays out of them. That scrap time fight was huge. Like, even though that scrap time fight was, like, for, like, 9 seconds, Shotzzy getting that scrap actually kind of fucking, like, secures that. Even if one of the OpTic members died, they were still in the driver's seat because of that. So, wait, you said look where number 8 spawns? My bad. I mean, number 8 spawns there because of number 3. Like, number 3 is in their fucking cheeks, bro. Number 3 is in, like, the middle of their spawn point right here. And this game's weird because the squad spawns can be annoying, like could be sticky sometimes, and they can also be blocked sometimes. Like, it's like a weird mix. He just, like, number 8 spawns there because of number 3. Like, I don't think that's that crazy. And then look, like, I don't think that's that crazy. Like, honestly, if they don't fuck that up, they could have probably held that board back even more. Like, I don't think that's as crazy. It's still Vanguard where, you know, I never defend this spawn system because you guys know how I feel about it. But at the same time, it's not as crazy as you think. There's not, like, super consistency to it sometimes, but, like, you can see, like, why that happens. Jesus Christ, bro. Shotzzy just fucking fried them. Definitely a Vanguard spawn. If that was Treyarch, he would have been that would have happened too. What do you mean? That guy Shotzzy was literally in their base, like, pushed out on their spawn point. Like, if that was Treyarch, he's 100% spawning behind him. Oh, OpTic Gaming listening. Let's go.
He's there close up. Nading. Close up, Tim. He's still there. Are you dead? I'm hitting outer. Sit down.
He's still out of stretching out.
Shout it.
Yeah, I did.
He got it. He said.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
God, hitting, not telling me. Close to you.
I should do weak.
Close to you. God, hitting, not telling me.
One shot got Hetty.
I'm hitting you. Yeah, he's left. God, hitting. Red, weak. Red, dead. I'm watching yourself.
What's the got Hetty?
He's low. And one guy's you. Go right. Yeah, go right. Nice one. Yo, you dead. I'm white beaming.
Where's that? I think we ladder.
I'm beaming with you said. I don't see anything.
Yeah, top over. Top 1 HP.
Top radio.
Yeah.
Yo, wait, this. Yo, close. We made. Close right. Then I'm watching guys.
I need you over your pipe.
Hold on. Yeah, dead.
Nice,
I'm needing time. I need time. I'm watching out.
Right there. I'm in the back.
On time needed. One shot on time out.
Yeah, still in the back.
Time dead.
What's in the back?
In the back. Back, get up time. He's still back hurt. I'm sure.
Get up time. We're short together. Yeah, watch up, guys. I get the ramp for you. I can get ramp for you.
I'm sure with you. I've got triple naded, bro. They're in the back. Nice too.
Top radio. You went out Aki spot.
Radio, absolute pred. He went top radio right now again.
Nice.
Nothing ramp.
Hey, when is what top your turn?
Let's go beat me, guys. Anytime.
He's one shot. What's up?
Hello. Make sure to knock it out. Make sure to knock it out. One more though. Mac is out. He was top church first guy. Yes, top church first guy. We gotta look for this guy.
Yeah. He might be behind in the back.
I got Sim. Nice, get up.
You said back, right?
We got him. I came back. Yep.
Okay, yeah, I'm got Hetty right now. I'm got Hetty.
Are you?
What's open?
Yo, I have beaming. I'm getting initial right now.
You have your own
Are you? Yeah, but I'm on vines, right?
Did we top? Alright, when is going deep on
Get
now?
top of one.
I hear that.
What's Are you? I'm on top vine. Yeah, I have beaming.
Actually, I'm on vine, but they can be top.
Are you good on top vine? Alright.
I'm ready to laying down.
Stop vines. Are you? Vines not telling me.
I don't see anything be main.
Vines still there.
Nothing but alley.
So vines, absolute, bro. Absolute vines.
What's but alley?
Be main dead.
I think I can get down.
Sure, save it, vines absolute.
I hear that. I'm holding but alley, guys.
Yo, hold on.
Yeah, are you?
I'm holding but alley.
I roof.
Nothing but alley.
Nothing mid.
I saw B main. I don't see
Here, nothing mid. They're all
I'm not playing. I'm not playing. They're nading. We got Hetty.
I'm running back to you. Give a B main now.
Mid alley, Lamar, one shot, nice.
Vines, still there.
No, I'm gonna try to.
Vines, he's still there. Left corner vines. He's still there.
Let's find it.
Good shit.
Bumpy, Brandon. Yeah. I'm gonna kill for guys.
I got one.
Yeah, I'm going right.
I'm putting my
This is fine. This is fine. Close to you.
Some great comms there out of OpTic Texas as they
What do you guys think, dude? What do you guys think of those comms? Hold up. Sorry. What do you guys think of those comms? Clean? I think those are the best comms we've heard so far, like throughout this podcast of just like listen-ins. Again, it was more, there was some of the stuff when they were breaking P1, how like Shotzi said he's going to slide to the tree and all that kind of stuff. They were having like a very, very solid, like just a solid conversation with each other. But even when they were holding in like that P2 and they were like in that setup, everyone was just talking about like what they were, what's it called? Like what they were holding. I think that was that solid comms. That was probably the best we've heard so far, like throughout the day of like just listening to everyone's comms so far. They're just really good. Again, there's just this is why they're a good team, you know. Very good at just like they were saying like what's open, make sure they're not getting out, like, you know, track this guy. We're looking for Mac, even though I think it might have ended up being Sib. I'm not too sure, but like they were looking for people in their base, not letting people get out. Make sure that this is held, what's held, what's open. Like there's really good stuff. Like you can clearly hear the difference between, you know, like the best teams in the world and then like, you know, teams that aren't doing the best right now. Like just the difference of communication is fucking nuts. But still, even though we're tipping OpTic right now, Seattle's playing a great game. Like they're going back and forth. Like this is just two Tuscan Hardpoint teams like kind of going back and forth with each other. And it's like, you know, really good plays. Here's where OpTic can really solidify the lead with this P4 hold. So we'll see. Spawns flip. Big kill out of Shotzi. This hold here is, again, like, this scrap time is huge, dude. Like, this scrap time, like, look. They're getting the scrap time, and, like, they're still even on rotation, and Shotzi, like, playing the scrap is huge. If he wins that, that would have been, like, fucking even more annoying, because then they'd have to worry about Shotzi pinching while they're also rotating. But he loses that, which is unfortunate. Like, last time, he obviously got that two-piece. Still doable for Seattle, though. Depends on the team, S. Madden. It also depends on your scrim results and like how well you're playing on the actual maps. So they win this rotation, and here we come. So either way, like this, so like this glide bomb, it's a lot harder. It's a lot easier said than done, and it's very hard to like coordinate streaks sometimes in this game with how hectic it can be. But like even when the streak gets called in, like Scump slides to the tree and takes a challenge and dies, and now number 3 is running through the middle of the map, which is probably going to be watched. Like, it's kind of tough because the only person that could really do anything here is number 2. And like, I don't know. He definitely does fuck this up in the sense of not killing Sib. But even if he kills Sib here, it's still not like the best time streak is like my point. Even if he kills Sib here, like Scump dying as the streak was getting called in kind of sucks. Shotzi like kind of just like not being able to really cross here is like kind of tough too. Even if he kills Sib, which obviously would be helpful so they don't get hill time, number 7 is eventually probably going to get there. And just in general, like it just didn't look like the best time streak. It's still not the worst time streak either, because if he does get this kill, it's huge. But I'm basically just saying, like, it would have been nice, like, if you back it up. Like, I know Scump's on this tree. So it looks like if, like, Scump sits here and then Dashy says, yo, I'm a streak. This guy is going to have to push forward. One's going to sit on the hill. You know, like, watch. Right here, he calls a streak, and he does this. It looks like the comms are a little off here. Because if Scump sits and waits, these two are going to have to split. One would stay on the hill, and one would either push in the church or push out their side, just out of, like, desperation. You know what I mean? Because they're going to have to get away from each other. And then number 8, like, you see, like, look. Number 8 actually pushes past here and just, like, out of desperation tries to get away from number 5. If Seth is sitting here and kills the guy number 8, hypothetically speaking, Dashy doesn't hit the fucking top of the thing and miss the streak. It's a clean break every time. You see what I mean? But even now, even if Scump does... I mean, even if Dashy does get this kill, it's still kind of tough. Because, again, if Illy doesn't win this fight and Pred stays alive... Like, there's just so much things that could go wrong here now. In the sense where this streak might get fucking pretty crazy here. Like, that was all I was kind of highlighting. You see? Like, even if he didn't fuck up that streak, it was still mistimed in my opinion. That was like basic law. It just looked a little rushed. The map ate the streak. Yes. That looks like a miscommunication if like I could see it from the outside in. We got a game. So like right here, dude. I don't know. I was literally about to say the words. Surge is doing a great job waiting for each other. This is a very hard break from Surge to actually perform and pull off. So again, you know, there's probably not like... They chalk 7 seconds, which also I don't love. But at the same time, I understand they want to form a break. But the thing is, if you're going to chalk these 7 seconds, this guy needs to drop his fucking controller. Absolutely needs to drop his controller. He cannot die. Not die. The leaving 7 seconds, in my opinion, I'm not a fan of. Just because, like, it makes their break have to, like, you have to break and then hold for longer. But if you're going to chalk the 7 seconds or whatever they chalk, what? They chalk 7. He cannot die. Like, he can't. Like, no one's engaging yet. The guy in the front cannot be the first to engage. The majority of Seattle right now is on this side of the map. Like right here, if number 5 is alive now and Pred wins this fight in the back, they're going to be forced to turn around, and then this is when number 5 makes the play. This is when number 5 goes to top radio. But now number 5's nowhere to be fucking found, and now they're fucked. You see what I mean? He got beamed. You don't get beamed if you don't challenge. He can't get beamed from where he is right now, you know? You can get beamed from there. You see what I mean? That's just the difference. Him dying there is just the L, like the, you know, the nail in the coffin kind of thing. That just sucks. Again, that's still a really hard break, hypothetically speaking. Even if he doesn't die, he might not get it. But like in a moment like that, he just couldn't die. And it is what it is. That's like common sense breaking too. That's not even like going super in depth. Like you know, you gotta wait for each other. They don't wait for each other, and then they lose. And now it's just like, this becomes like please, for the desperation, like, let's get on the hill. It doesn't matter. Yeah. And then they lose. So that break is tough, but definitely I know Lamar. I've known Lamar for a while. He watches that back and says, like, how the fuck are we not waiting for each other? It is to wait for each other. It is what it is. So that's the rest of that match. Now we're going to kind of speed run this last match because we've been we're around our time. This last match, I more or less don't want to break down this match as much just because it was a 3-0. Sorry. It was a 3-0 and it wasn't like, you know, super crazy. I thought this match was going to be a little bit different. I thought Rokkr was going to come out with the fire. They don't. So, like, the keys to victory is Boston Breach, you know, rounds in S&D, post-plant, fucking blah, blah, blah. Like, basically, the keys to victory, I'll give you my keys to victory. If you want to beat fucking Minnesota, if you take a search, you're going to win the series. Like, you know what I mean? That's kind of what it is. You should take your respawns. Don't let them take a respawn. You win the search, you're going to win the series. Berlin Hardpoint is Boston Breach is like, you know, a very good map for Boston Breach, but they're also good at Gavutu and shit too. And they're just like pretty good Hardpoint team in general. They also love Bocage, so like they kind of get forced to veto Bocage. To be very just like, you know, transparent here, Minnesota's map pool is shit. So like it's just, that's it. Like, you know, like they had the veto Bocage because they're not good at Bocage, and then they're forced to play Berlin versus a very good Berlin Hardpoint team. You're already like, you know, kind of like, ah, shit. Then Bocage SND is an SND where like this is a must win for Minnesota. They have to win it. They don't. And then they get kind of, and then this is like, I think statistically speaking, not roasting here, but the two worst control teams in the league right now playing each other. So anything could happen here. But when you're up 2-0 and you have like momentum, I think Boston's just feeling confident and they close it out. But yeah, Boston's a good hardpoint team. That's what I mean. Boston's a good team. So if Boston is going to take these respawns, like Rokkr needs to take one because they need to, and then they need to win the search. They don't do any of that. So skipping forward here. Skipping forward. This Boston team immediately, they start off hot. You know, this role switch is where we would see Rokkr like potentially, you know, make a change and see what's going on. And we said like, if this role switch doesn't switch them and like doesn't fix them as like a team, this is where you start getting a little bit worried, right? This is where you start getting a little bit worried. If this role switch isn't working in hardpoints right now, you gotta think. Like I just said, Boston Breach is a good hardpoint team, and I still stick to that. I agree with that, but they're not the best hardpoint team, and they're not the second. They're probably, what did someone say, like the 5th best hardpoint team? I'm not sure statistically, but say we go with that. You gotta be able to keep these hardpoints close, if not win some of them here and there. You know what I mean? And if you don't, and you gotta like, what, you know, where do you draw the line? And it just looks like Rokkr right now, even with this role change that we did say, they're still struggling, and that's kind of a worry. It's becoming, you know, it's becoming a worry. Because you skip forward, this match is just, we'll listen to this listening, just because we'll do a little bit. We'll do this listening right here, the Boston Breach. Actually, we'll do both. Here, we'll do both right here, and then we'll skip through. And even like right here, by the way, too, like the score difference, like the kills aren't that crazy right now. Like, yeah, Minnesota's getting out, you know, -1, 2, 3. They're -3, but like it just looks like their pacing's off. They're not controlling the game when they want to. The kills, like they're not making the kills like important. Like it's just tough.
P1, yeah, P1, he pushed up stone, Where do you go? He's holding stone steps. Stay up from steps.
More stone.
Yeah, behind us, behind us. He's spawn killing me, he's weak. Coast on you on the tank. He's absolute on the tank.
The tank.
P1, Mike.
Kill Stone TJ. Stone TJ. He ran on stone steps. Try to go
Their comms sound better, by the way, than normal. Usually they sound a little hectic. This isn't bad from Minnesota here.
One shot. One to me. P1 probably play for street.
Capsule left. Capsule out of box hurt.
Hallway to hill.
Capsule out of box.
Yeah, there's two of them.
Hallway to hill. One shot. Zen.
I want to kill him now.
Try and kill Zen.
Capsule
still by ticket. That's a big rotation here. This is a big rotation.
One shot going low P2.
For Rokkr, they managed to get some points back onto the board, but we are heading into our...
Is there hard point in scrims like this against you guys too? To be fair, I'm not a big fan of releasing scrim results versus other teams. Players maybe do that, but like just like from like where I stand, like as a coach, I'm not a big fan of releasing scrim results for other teams. It's not even about like my own team, even like because technically I'm releasing my own scrim results if I give you that answer. But like I don't know, I don't like airing out other people's scrim results like to the public. You know what I mean? Not even just like for the sake of my own team, but just for like the other teams too. Like I don't know, I feel like that's weird. Like hypothetically, if I just came out and said like they were bodying us or we were bodying them, like I don't know, I just feel like that's weird. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of doing that. Didn't FaZe release their 16-0 map count in MW? I didn't do that. I'm pretty sure someone else did. And I'm sure, I don't even remember that far back anymore. But I'm sure if that did get released, I said, like, players do whatever players do because players do it. Like, it's different. And I'm just saying from my standpoint, I'm not a fan of doing that. I don't know who did that. And even if it, like, you know, even if I go back and, like, I don't remember, like, even if that was a mistake. So, I think Nameless was the one who pushed that. Yeah. Again, like, if you have a conversation between... Sorry to keep cutting this off. If you have a conversation between people, like, you know, say I say this to, like, you know... Merc's in here. And then, like, you know, I say, oh, right now my team's fucking frying. We're on a 16-0 map count, like, whatever it is. Like, I'm talking to him in private, like, you know, and I'm talking to my boy. Like, I think that's a little different than me coming on this podcast and then saying, like, hey, guys, we're 60-0. Yo, everyone, like, I don't know. I don't know. I think that's different. So, like, I don't think I'm not a fan of that myself. But here, listen in.
He just crossed street, one's top third.
Yeah. Trying to get this guy top.
Top third. Yeah, I'm trying to buy
Top three. I'm just playing those.
Top third left. They all want deep.
Top third. He's still top three. He's still top three. No, Major.
Yeah, Zinni fries this map.
Our side door. No,
They're all fighting right. They're all fighting right now.
Major upstairs.
Closet, straight again.
He's fire tank. He's fire tank. Yep. He's crossing. He's weak on the step. Or fucking.
P1 death.
Okay. I'm pushing on this one.
So those both listed ins, like, yeah, this team's a little bit more hectic than your average team, but like it wasn't hectic to the point where it was like detrimental. I don't know. Like I think that was fine. You know, there's been better comms, but like I don't think their comms are bad. They were also fine and like everything was going well. Like certain teams are just, you know, a little bit more hectic than others, just like tones of voices, people speak faster than others. But that didn't bother me. So you want to look at the statistics really quick. So Priesta 22 and 22, Attach 13 and 17, Standy 13 and 22, and then Major at 16 and 18. Like, I don't know. This stat line right now for Minnesota, it's becoming worrisome. Like something's going wrong, whether it's their system of how they want to play, their philosophy, how they want to play respawns. Maybe it's just like their philosophy is right and the pacing of their players are just plain flat out simple, just not working. That could be a thing. Like, you know, there's something wrong, whether it's the philosophy of how they want to play, like, all that, like, it's just something's going wrong. And if the role switch is not going to fix this and you're still getting results like this, there's more to the problem. And that's an issue. Like, we keep saying, like, you keep saying, like, this team has talent. They have the gun skill. Like, they should be able to make this work in Respawn. So there's something more to the problem. And that's, like, that's becoming worrisome, where you got to figure it out, and you got to figure it out quick. Like, that team should not be getting just absolutely slammed like that, and they are. And then you skip forward. If Minnesota needs to win this, and Minnesota's a good search team. We've talked about this before, though. You can't rely on SNDs because, A, there's going to be other good SND teams in the league. And B, like, how SNDs can go. I would be more confident watching a good hardpoint team play a bad hardpoint team and them winning that hardpoint than a good SND team playing a worse SND team and them winning that SND. You see where I'm coming from? And we kind of talked about this last podcast. It just sucks because relying on S&D, there's going to be times where, like, things don't go in your favor. You lose a few 1v1 clutches, and all of a sudden you're down 3-0. Like, there's just so much that, like, that's just an issue when you're in an S&D strong team. So that's, like, my point of, you could be very good at S&D, but sometimes S&Ds come to a few one-on-ones that don't go in your favor and you lose. You know what I mean? And that's why I feel like, consistently speaking, I would rather watch a better hardpoint team, or I'd be more confident in the hardpoint than that. So there's a lot of room for error. They end up losing this. I'm speedrunning this match just because this was kind of just a body slam, and we're just going to get to the, like, general questions and end it. But they bring it back, then they don't, and then it just doesn't look good for Minnesota. Minnesota lose this, and then, like, again, even though this goes 5-5, like, this is, like, exactly what I'm talking about. Minnesota lose this, and you lose a couple clutches, you lose a couple close rounds, and now you're down 0-2 in the series. Like, it's just, this is not what you want to rely on if you're Minnesota Rokkr, and that's why I'm, like, speedrunning this. Like, I want to talk about, like, more important stuff. They bring it back, but this is exactly, like, my point. And then this is two teams that have been struggling in control. Boston just happens to be up 2-0. They kind of slam them on that first round. They put them tough, like, in the sense where they're going to get last round defense if they need it. And then they kind of get slammed anyway, and they lose 3-1. So this series just sucks. First of all, if you want to highlight TJ, he goes 40-26. But this is where we're going to start taking questions and talk about other stuff about what you guys have been talking about in the chat. We're in a tough spot. We're in a tough spot right now. Like, if you're Minnesota Rokkr, we just talked about it. Like, Priesta had bad stats for that series, and in that control specifically, he went 18-35. That's the reason why he had bad stats. I'm pretty sure he was the only one even on the first map, and then he got bodied in the control, and then it's the same thing. Like, they're just not, like, it's just weird. They're just not, like, I don't know, on the same page, on the same pace, on, like, and what someone said in the chat, like, I think it was a pretty good point. Like, this team does have the talent. This team does have the gun skill. We keep saying that, but you got to put it to work, right? You got to put it to work. So what do you do? And this is a weird switch because, like, this team has 4, solid players like we were talking about. And this team also has, from what I know, 4, like, well, I know 3 of them. I don't know Standy at all, but they have 4 players that are really good teammates. Like, really good teammates. They're good players. They got a good head on their shoulders. Like, they're gonna any team they join is gonna be like a positive effect. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got, like, what they need in that sense. So I don't know. It's becoming an issue, and it's a pacing issue. It seems to be, or whatever it is, or it's a system issue. Like, they're not playing the right system. They don't have a good game plan. Like, I don't know what the exact problem is because, you never know how scrims and shit go. But at this point, it just doesn't make sense that they're this bad at Respawn, and you're getting to a point now where it's like, where do you draw the line, right? Priesta needs to be on an AR, not an SMG. I don't know. I kind of disagree, but, like, I think, like, he can be. I think he can be a flex. He can be a main SMG. Like, I do believe Priesta is a superstar player. But I don't even think it has anything to do with an individual right now, where it's like, this team is just not clicking, where they're just not, I don't know. They're just not in form. So I don't know. I don't really know what you do here. Like, I don't really know what you do here. Priest is too fast, but like in my opinion, you can't really be too fast in respawn in this game if like everyone else is on your pace. You know what I mean? It's like this game is a really fast game. Like a BC's fucking a goddamn speed demon. You know what I mean? But like we got to keep up with them, kind of thing. I don't know. Like saying I'm never usually a fan of like saying someone's too fast. Like Shotzi's fucking fast as hell too, and then you know people fucking follow him up. Like I don't know. It's interesting. It's hard to speculate things from the outside looking in because you don't know how their scrims are going. Like maybe they are arguing, maybe they aren't clicking. Like I have no fucking idea. But it's definitely getting scary. I don't really know what the fix is. And again, like so it's like I guess like you guys have all their opinions, but and now they're most likely lower bracket at their own major. Yeah, that does suck too. I thought they were going to come out with more fire, and even though I think they've started down 0-2 right now, again, you starting 0-2 is not the end of the world if you get good practice and stuff. It just seems like this is a reoccurring theme in the sense of them just not clicking together. So I don't know what we'll see here. I guess we kind of have to wait and see. Oh, they're 1-2. I'm sorry. Which match did they win? Did they beat Minnesota? That's up to you. Jesus Christ. They beat Paris. They beat Paris, and then they lost 2. So they're 1-2 right now. Am I correct? They're 1-2. Who did they lose to? They lost to Boston, and then who am I missing? Or who am I missing? Ultra. Okay. So they played Ultra, so they're 1-2 then. Regardless, their respawn right now, again, people in this league play to win. They don't play to be in 6th place. They play like be in 8th place, obviously not. They need to start winning respawns. If they want to win to win an event, or even like obviously smell a win in an event, they're gonna have to start winning respawns. So I wonder what's gonna happen here. This is a major question mark that I'm not too sure about, which kind of sucks because this team shouldn't be this bad, and that's the confusing part. So we kind of got to leave it at that for now. I don't really know. Here we go. Do you agree to blow the Seattle team up? All right, we're going to talk about this, and then we're going to end the podcast because we've been live for 2.5 hours. We kind of went in depth again. We always do. I always go past the time because I love talking COD with you guys. Whatever. Okay. Blowing up Paris. When I hear the words blowing up Paris, I hear like wipe their roster. Why? I know they're not doing well and they're struggling, but like blowing up that team and just wiping their roster wouldn't make sense. Are we saying you think they need like a one-man roster change? Like where are we going here? We're talking Seattle right now. Sorry, not Paris. Seattle. I don't know if I said Paris. My bad. If I said Paris, I'm fucking twisted. My fault. It's 8 a.m. It's fucking early in the morning. I barely fucking sleep. Why are we blowing up Seattle? Like, I know they're not playing for T8. Okay. So, like what I just said, I know they're not playing for T8. And I do feel one thing in this league. I feel like when you start losing, like I even saw comments when OpTic was down, 0-2 that people were talking about a roster change and shit. Like, I feel like when you start losing in this league, people want to make a change right away and like just blow it up. And again, like we were saying it with like Rokkr, it's like a big question mark. You're kind of getting close to it. But like blowing up Seattle doesn't make sense. Maybe you think about a roster change, yeah, and like it's just weird, dude. It's weird because you want to blow up New York because New York can't win a hard point and like they're like literally just getting absolutely bodied. Seattle has had a rough run, but at the same time, like you're not playing for 8th or whatever we were saying. Okay, what do you do? Who do you drop? What do you do? Where do you go from there? Because right now, if I look at the Seattle team, in my opinion, I think they have a high ceiling, but I think they have a low floor. Is like what we've been seeing throughout the years. I'm speaking on straight results right now. They can play up here and they can play down here, right? So there's a lot of middle ground with them. So like if you make a change, that ceiling can come down from here to here, but then the floor can go up to here. Do you want to do that? Play for Lamar? I mean, I don't think Lamar is I don't know. Like, I don't think Lamar is playing, like, terrible all the time. Like, and on top of that, like, I also think Lamar is the reason why this team is like also a team in the sense of like being a pretty, like they play the game in a sense, like a very aggressive play style where they're pretty good. Like I think Lamar is a huge, you guys know me, I'm a fan of Lamar. I've always been. So, but like the way Lamar leads all his teams usually throughout the years, like even just throughout the years, I think we were talking about like in Black Ops 4, I think Lamar's team, they dropped Lamar and they ended up getting like worse. And like, I don't know. I think Lamar, the way Lamar leads his teams for the most part is pretty effective. So I think just getting rid of Lamar, like doesn't it say like, you know, hypothetically speaking, maybe it like hires your floor if you're getting like some more talented fucking player or whatever you want to go with. But like, I don't really think it hires their ceiling. So I don't know. Aches does make a good point though, that if one Pred or Sib has to go off for them to win a map. I mean, yeah, but like that's what Pred and Sib are there for. Like, I think Mac has been pretty, like, I don't know, like, again, like, so it's like, so if they have to do that, you just want to blow up their team and just like completely do it. It's like, I don't know, like, I mean, Abizi and Simp have to go off a lot of the times for us to win. Obviously, we have Celium and Arcides, but like, to be fair, like, our team is also like, in a sense, like a star-studded team. Like, I don't know. Like, Mac has been lackluster. I think, is that true? Or are we just saying that? Because, like, again, I'm just saying the reason why I'm, like, disagreeing with the point that you guys are making up right now is, what do you do? What do you do right now if you're Seattle? That's, like, more or less what I'm saying. I'm going up to the stats, by the way. Mac Melts. Mac Melts has a 1.02 in Hardpoint and a 1.14 in Control. Are y'all fucking faded? Like, in what world has he been playing lackluster? His Search and Destroy KD is a 0.84 because he plants the bomb every fucking round because his team tells him to fucking plant the bomb and die every time. Like, in what world is Mac just getting fucking shit on? I know KD doesn't tell the full story, but like, I'm just confused. Like, I don't think Mac has been getting shit on like you guys are saying. Like, I feel like you guys are just poofing that out of thin air and saying like, I'm gonna roll with it. Like, I don't know. I understand why people are giving Seattle heat in the sense like, you know, they have had a rough run. Like, you know, they win and then they lose a couple and they win. But it's just like, I don't see like, I think this Seattle team right now is more or less like fixing little things to become more consistent. Like I said, I think they have a high ceiling but a low floor. I think if they fix mistakes and get like a little bit better, they can hire their floor and be like better. I think I see a future with the Seattle team of getting better slowly, like throughout the year. I just don't see why, like, I don't see a change like making some major thing to them. So that's why I don't understand that. Like, I don't know. Like with Minnesota right now, I don't see a high ceiling. In my opinion, I don't see a high ceiling right now with Minnesota because they've never showed it. They've never showed their high ceiling. You know what I mean? And they're not showing us a high ceiling. Like, I think Seattle is showing us a high ceiling, but they also have a low floor, so they have to figure it out. Like, I don't know. And the Mac slander is just silly. VTF, thank you very much, Frank. I appreciate the 15 months. I don't know. I think like Seattle still has some time to work things out, and I think like the issues that you see in their game, just, I don't know. It's just weird. It's just weird. Like, I don't really like, again, like I think it's like little mistakes that they lose and shit and they play close. I don't know. Like I just don't see the whole point of blowing that roster up. I don't understand where that gets you. Like, I know you're not playing for 8th place, but I do feel like they have a higher ceiling where like a team like Minnesota and New York, like no one saw New York ceiling. Like the New York ceiling was down here. They needed to fucking change. Like, I still think Seattle has some signs of life before you just blow up their fucking roster. I don't know. I think that's silly. But yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna play some rank play for a little bit, and then kind of go from there. Like, I don't know. I appreciate you guys watching. Obviously, we went a little bit longer than we were supposed to, but that's just because I talk about Call of Duty too much, and I love you guys. So this will be up on YouTube pretty shortly. I'm gonna upload it now, and then you guys can get to watch.